6th Street and Spring Mill Road.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Colts return home to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Coverage begins Sunday morning at 9 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you are doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard, a pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the Dickens! Double time!
Miles Turner. Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, here we go in the heart of Broad Ripple today on this Bud Light Blue Friday. Thank you so much for joining us because we've got tickets to give away. I shall explain coming up in just a minute, but if you're watching via YouTube Live, you can see where we are. Average Joe's in Broad Ripple. You can see behind me, we're both inside and then outside right here as well. This is spectacular. What a great day to be here in the window that opens up to Broad Ripple right here. And look for you too, because we've got tickets to give away for the game coming up on Sunday. In fact, Olivia told me we have not one, not two, not three, but four pair that's going to get you into the building to see the Jaguars and Colts coming up on Sunday. And all you got to do is come out and sign up. We've got other stuff to give away as well, but that's really all you have to do. Come out, sign up, and maybe you will end up winning and going to that game, which is of mammoth proportions, coming up on Sunday without a doubt. I don't even know where to begin. We will begin coming up in just a second, but I don't even know where to begin. I said this with Tony Katz this morning. I went on with him. We do normally a Friday morning preview, and he had asked me the expectations. Well, the expectations are different than my thoughts on how this team is going to handle it because they haven't managed that very well to this point. And the expectations, as I've talked about, clearly ride on the offensive line. And you can say what you want, about the defense and the defense having to play better and turning, opportunities into takeaways, which they just haven't had any this year whatsoever, other than basically, Stephon Gilmore and that playmaking ability we saw over a week ago on Thursday night in Denver. Those have not been here like they were with Shaquille Leonard a year ago. There is no doubt. You want the defense to step up big. You want the defense to put Trevor Lawrence in a position that he is not accustomed to being in, and that's shaking him up a little bit. But at the same time, as I mentioned, this team goes nowhere. This team does nothing without further help from the offensive line. Honestly, either these guys get better, these guys play better, or you got no chance. You just have no chance. And we expect Jonathan Taylor to be back coming up on Sunday. The only players that were ruled out earlier today by Colts head coach Frank Reich was Shaquille Leonard with the concussion and the broken nose. He had surgery on that broken nose. How about that? Guy came back for what? A half a play almost, and gets caught up in friendly fire from teammate Zaire Franklin, and not only is still dealing with a concussion, but that broken nose on what was as vicious a blow as you're going to see. So literally been back for about 5 minutes, and that's it. Now, granted, in his stead, Zaire Franklin has played well. Bobby Okereke, they have played well. The defense at times looks like that it's getting better. I don't know about consistently getting better. But, I mentioned that playmaking ability in the secondary with Gilmore. You saw guys finally up front get off the mark and get after the quarterback, whether it was DeForest Buckner or Yannick Ngakoue. But everything is going to hinge on just the level of effectiveness. And you know what's funny? We're kind of getting in a place right now. We were talking yesterday about this, about the whole lowering the bar thing. If you guys heard Mike Chappell and I talk about this yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour of the show, the whole lowering of the bar. And that's kind of where it is right now. Like your level of expectations of what you thought this team was going to be compared to what you thought this team should be or where they should be. It just seems like every week you end up saying, well, you know what? They lost, but, well, it was a division game, but, well, they tied, but, well, you know, Denver played, it's a win, but. At some point, that's got to stop. And it's got to stop coming up on Sunday. You got back-to-back games, revenge games within your own division. Because this is going to be, these next three are hinge-worthy here. These next three are hinge-worthy to see where this team can end up. And I know I have to hear it all day long about how nobody's going to run away and hide within the division. But think about it for a moment. Think about you've tied, you've lost, and you've lost. And now you have the opportunity in the next 2 weeks to get a little bit of payback and to really, within the own division, jump back into it. Yeah, I'm sure that these teams aren't going to run away. The problem is that one team is younger and more talented right now, and we're going to see that coming up on Sunday, and the other team is just stratospherically tougher than you are. You know, no matter what they have, no matter what they're going through, no matter what the issue might be, whatever the case, Mike Vrabel and company just seem to get over within this division. It's kind of like what we used to witness with the Colts in this division. It's different from the sense of the Colts would just be dominant. You would just expect going into a division game that they were going to win. And now that's flipped to the point where you look at Tennessee, for example, coming in here, check that, going down there. But next up on the plate for the Colts the week after this Sunday, you look at that and you go, at some point they're just going to out-tough you. At some point they're going to find a way. Somebody's going to make a play. They may not have A.J. Brown out there as they didn't in week 3, but other guys are going to step up and make plays. Maybe Derrick Henry's not what he used to be, but somebody else is going to make plays. We saw that, did we not, a couple of Sundays ago? Yeah, they didn't have Harold Landry. How'd that work out? No Taylor Lewan. How'd that work out? They're just tougher. They're tougher, they are more grind-worthy, and until this team shows anywhere in the neighborhood of that, this is probably what we're looking at. And we continue to lower that bar of, and at some point you're going to run out of time of doing it. So you better look at the watch, and if you have any whatsoever attempt at getting right, and, you know, whether it's communication or whatever these other excuses are, if you have any attempt at getting right, it needs to start coming up on Sunday with Jacksonville. I mean, goodness sake. I told this to Tony Cass this morning. From a player standpoint, I said this in week number 2 when they went down there. From a player standpoint, knowing what this team has put you through, at some point, if you don't get over on this team, it's almost like, do you really care? I mean, I'm assuming that they care. I'm assuming they care a great deal, but you got to get over on these guys. Look at what they've put you through. Look at the situations in which they've made you a laughingstock, and then normally after that, somebody always comes up with this excuse as to why, you know, a year ago it was a quarterback, 2 years it was the quarterback getting acclimated. There's always something going along. Well, the end of the year last year, you know, you talked about Shaquille Leonard was not liking football, and I mean, listen, not a lot of people were liking the final 2 weeks of the season watching that team play football. You got to put all that aside. You got to look in the mirror and you go, all right, is this who we really are? Is this us? Is this how we play? Is this how just vastly overrated this team is on the offensive line? Is that who we are? People were asking me earlier in the day, all right, so how do you see the breakdown of what they're going to do on the offensive line? Well, we know that Bernard Ryman is going to get the start, the rookie at left tackle. You know that Quentin Nelson is going to get the start. He's going to be at left guard. We know that Ryan Kelly is back, and we know earlier this week that when asked about the possibility of maybe if Danny Pinter's playing better, making a substitution at center, Frank Reich in his retort said, hey, we have not even had that conversation. So pencil in Ryan Kelly, starter at center. Who's going to start at right guard? To me, if you're not going to go back to Danny Pinter, and I don't know if they're going to go back to Danny Pinter, and you're not going to go back to Will Fries, which I doubt they're going to go back to Will Fries, to me it's going to end up being Matthew Pryor. And I know what you're saying. Hey, listen, you started at left tackle. It was a mess. He started at right tackle last game. It was an absolute disaster. But this is more like where he plays, at least. Like when everybody jokes about me and that kind of constant thing with moving Nelson to left tackle, I'm telling you, that still makes more sense than doing what you did with Pryor at left tackle and then doing what you did with Pryor at right tackle, none of which has worked. And really, it suffered so bad that we got people saying, hey, what about Eric Fisher? Is Eric Fisher still available? Everybody's kind of looking glowingly at Eric Fisher and his level of play a year ago when that wasn't any good either. Run blocking, yes. Pass protection, no. It was a turnstile. That's again us lowering the bar. Well, that was bad, but it was better than this sort of bad. And as I've always mentioned, it's just not supposed to look that way. It's not supposed to be that way. And that's where you are. I wish that I could count on for you some inspiration coming out of the tunnel during introductions and come out there and just disposing of a team that you owe so much to right now. Think about all that crap these guys had to put up with in the offseason from clowns like me and other clowns across the landscape here locally, clowns clowning on the clownery. Now, that's what happened with the Colts. They got clowned, absolutely clowned. There was laughing, there was giggling, there was celebrating going on in a meaningless game for the team that was cleaning your clock. Thought it was going to be different in week number 2. As it turned out, it was not at all different. It was certainly the same. And now you're counting on that coming up here in week number 6. You count on that because you have to. I know all signs point to, all right, this offense hadn't played very well. Look how they won in Denver on field goals, 4 of them from Chase McLaughlin. I know how the offensive line looked. We've documented that about as well as we possibly can. Running game, however, got going a little bit. So I would expect if Jonathan Taylor is back, if you can play off of that just a little bit with Jonathan Taylor, I guess you can look at it 2 different ways. I forget who I brought this up to a little bit earlier this week when, they cited the offensive line in more holes and a better running attack that we saw against Denver. But I also countered with, well, I don't know how Denver, were they not as focused in on that position, not as concerned about that position because 28 wasn't out there. I think you can use that as decent logic. So we've asked. In some points, the fans have pleaded, and the Colts get another opportunity. Get another opportunity to show folks around here what they really are compared to what we have seen so far this year. Got another opportunity, and it's a big one coming up on Sunday, and we shall discuss. As I mentioned, Kwity Paye, Shaquille Leonard ruled out for the game on Sunday. Things are looking good for Jonathan Taylor. I saw today where the red jersey was taken off of Nyheim Hines. I don't know if, and I'll have to ask, I guess, a little bit later on, conversationally, if he's going to end up playing. It seems like that would be pretty fast-paced, but he got the red jersey off. So if nothing else, for Nyheim Hines, who took a lick going back to Thursday night, that is a good sign moving forward for him. So we'll discuss all that and more for the Colts and the expectations coming up on Sunday with you. And I will leave time for you on this Friday afternoon at 239-1070. The email address is JMV at 1075thefan.com. You can join me that way. You can do it inside the lounge via YouTube Live, or you can check out behind me, see both the inside and the outside of Average Joe's in Broad Ripple. Our guy Rob Sabatini is going to join us coming up a little bit later on. I'm hoping, and I don't know if that means he's going to get on camera or not, but our executive producer, our good friend Todd Meyer, actually cut his teeth in this particular industry right here. And I'm hoping that Todd Meyer shows up. He said earlier in the week he may show up, so we're going to dangle that carrot with Sabatini a little bit later on. and see if Todd Myers shows up to have an ice-cold Bud Light with us on this Bud Light Blue Friday. In fact, we do have 4 pair of tickets to the game coming up on Sunday. So we'll dive into that and a lot more with you at 239-1070 coming up in just a bit. I know going back to last night as well, it's funny. Everybody, now the Thursday night thing is just a constant complaint. Thursday night thing is a constant complaint, and it's everybody in social media trying to come up with the great joke. Trying to come up with that next joke, that next best thing. I saw Jennifer sent me that meme. That meme, I believe that goes back to Grown Ups, the film from 2010 with Adam Sandler, when Rob Schneider had the 2 really hot-looking daughters and then the other not-so-hot-looking daughter, and like one was Sunday Night Football, the other was Monday Night Football, and then the third, the not-so, was the Thursday night. So I've seen it all, and I know everybody's trying to reach out and grab those jokes and everything else. It's kind of, though, is it not? I guess it's more magnified because it's on Amazon, and you guys are all paying for this now, but it's kind of Thursday night football, isn't it? I guess I would have to ask you what to expect. There's a reason why I had Die Hard loaded up and ready to rock last night, and I tried to tell Kirk Herbstreit the same thing. You know, halfway through that game, finally we got a score right before the half, and it was 3-0 at the half. I tried to say, listen, if you guys want to switch over, Die Hard's on Stars right now, and it's, you know, right at that part where Ellis thinks he has a really good plan. Because he has a fountain pen. He doesn't have a gun. He's got a fountain pen. And Ellis didn't end well for Ellis, right? So I said, there's the moment now where you have, if you want to, right before the half, you can switch over, get a little bit of enthusiasm from this great 1988 release, Die Hard, and then move on. But nah, I mean, everybody else is going for the big joke. And the big joke's kind of on everybody else because that's just kind of what Thursday night has been for the most part, right? I think the early portion of this season, maybe the first couple of weeks, Thursday night came out of the gate, and you're thinking, wow, this is going to be really fun, man. Amazon, and we're streaming new generation stuff here. I'm paying for this, or I'm getting a free sample of this, or whatever. This is going to be great. Look how much money that they're spending on this right now. What's his name? Jeff Bezos or whatever? My man's putting a lot of cash into this, but it now has slowly gone back into what Thursday night football has become. All right, everybody loves football. I mean, we do our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila shots. You love football, right? Because you like picking. You like betting. Some actually bet. Some don't. Some just pick. Some follow along, whatever. But you just kind of get used to Thursday night as a springboard. And you know what? In the past, you just kind of look at it and you go, if it's a good game, then we're fortunate. Most of the time it isn't. Most of the time it's a battle of 2 teams that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things right now in the NFL. So everybody's kind of freaking out over this. Did somebody get promised greatness? Because it was Amazon? Because you're paying for it now? Because this is pay-per-view. I mean, for me, it's pay-per-view. For me, it's like trying to navigate and like get it downloaded and being able to do it. And then I have to all these, pixelation or whatever the hell that is. I don't know anything about that. I just want to be able to go, boom, there it is. There's the football that I watch. I hit this button and there it is. So it is different, but it seems like the product is pretty much as the product has always been on Thursday. So that normally sends you searching. Last night, you probably went searching for Baylor and West Virginia on Fox Sports 1. Who was it? Temple and, Central Florida, I think, that was on ESPN last night or whatever. I know it was kind of a struggle. I don't know how many of you actually will switch over and watch Major League Baseball, even if it's the Major League Baseball postseason. But obviously that rain out of the Yankees game last night, which game 2, by the way, is being played right now. Last check, it was tied 2-2 with the Guardians and the Yankees from Yankee Stadium. I don't know how many actually switch over to baseball of any sort from football, but that's normally been the protocol on a Thursday night, especially this time of year. And really, you've got some options. You normally do have options, and the reasons why those options are created, right? It's because the game on Thursday is not very good. So everybody seems to be kind of surprised by that. Like, the Monday night games seem to be a lot better. We used to complain about the Monday night games, and I guess the fact remains that if you're outside of the NBA season and there's no baseball playoffs on a Monday night, like, for example, you go back to Monday night's game, and that thing was standalone. That was it. It was the only thing that was on sports-wise at that time. It was it, other than, I mean, maybe you had a local team that was playing an NBA preseason game or whatever. But it just seems to me like Thursday night football is pretty much similar to what Thursday night football has been since Thursday night football became a thing and will continue to be a thing. The Bears and the Commanders last night. Wentz, what's up, buddy? Wentz reminds me greatly last night of the week 3 Wentz we saw for the Colts a year ago in Tennessee. Remember when the Colts didn't adequately prepare for that possibility? After a week prior, he got twisted up like a pretzel by Aaron Donald, and then he had to roll out there and could barely move. He was basically staked into the ground down in Tennessee, couldn't move whatsoever, and what was just an incredibly winnable game. You look back at a lot of these, you look back at some of them, you go, man, those incredibly winnable game opportunity right there. My man's hat is blowing right down the street. That was a good call right there. I mean, it came right off his head. It blew right down the street, everybody. Somebody get it. Anyway, that's kind of where we are, I guess, with Thursday night, kind of where we are with Monday night, and certainly where we are with the Colts going into what is a crucial Week 6 matchup within the AFC South, and that's Jacksonville coming to town. Can you imagine if you're Jacksonville? I bet they're feeling good. Remember how confident the Colts used to feel? Remember those days of Manning, those days of Dungy, those days of Polian, when that's how you felt? That's how Jacksonville feels right now, I'm sure. When you go back to last November, Jacksonville, that was tough to put them away here, and that's often forgotten about. I think that was a strip sack, was it not? As Jacksonville approached midfield with under 2 minutes to go, they were driving in that game, I believe. And I think it was near midfield, and I think it was a combination of DeForest Buckner and Dio Adengbo that got a strip sack of Trevor Lawrence that finally put that game away, but that thing was in doubt until late as well. So it's not like you go back and go, hey, well, look what happened. That was great last November, because it really wasn't great last November until they finally put them away. That has been an issue. But we'll start with this coming up on Sunday. Again, if the offensive line does not improve, and I mean improve from where they are right now, according to PFF, the absolute bottom of the NFL, and I mean improve greatly, this team is going to have basically no chance. That improvement starts coming up on Sunday. It better. All right, quick break, and we'll come back. We're live in Broad Ripple, Average Joe's Bud Light Blue Friday. You can see us right in the window. I would love to see you here. We've got tickets to give away coming up a little bit later on, courtesy of our friends from Zinc and Bud Light. We've got 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets to give away coming up a little bit later on. Love to see you here. It's a glorious October afternoon here in Broad Ripple, and I'm right here in the window. I'm giving you a little bit of both via YouTube Live in the lounge. I'm giving you the outside, and I'm giving you the inside. And we're giving you a whole lot of handsome behind me right here. If you've noticed, a whole lot of handsome, and Cam, who is the engineer. Olivia is going to get people signed up. I got to thank Alex from just down the street. Do you have to climb the fence to get your place down there? Okay. No, you drive up, and this is further down, right? And there's a huge hole in the road where they're fixing stuff right here. But that's right in front of Alex and Brian. That is the shop in Broad Ripple right here. And Alex has brought, and I'll talk with him a little bit later on, this. If you guys are watching via YouTube Live, here it is. You know what's up, brother? You know what I want to be rocking? Listen. I want to be comfortable. That's why it's an extra large tag on it right there. Come on. That's all you guys are seeing. Yeah, I see you raising up the shirt as extra large. Don't you need a 2X? No, I don't need a 2X. Come on. It's JMV Takeover shirts that are available at the shopindy.com. All you have to do is click on that and then search on the search bar JMV Takeover, and you can get that. And not only will you look incredibly sharp with this, but you'll also throw some cash, some highly needed cash and assistance to our friend Margaret and the great folks at Teachers Treasures. This benefits Teachers Treasures right here. So you can stop by their location. You can certainly order it again. Put in that order online, the shopindy.com. Alex, thank you very much for that. I'm going to get some ice cold Bud Light out here. My man Rob Sabatini is going to join me a little bit later on. Yeah, next door at the Rock, I think after 7. I may have to do an early bird, like MCL early bird special. I may have to go over there 1 and 2, work it out just a little bit when I get off here at 7. That will please me a great deal going into the weekend. But yeah, join us. This is a Friday party. This is how we want to end your work week here in Broad Ripple at Average Joe's on a Bud Light Blue Friday. Big high school football evening. You got a mammoth game down at CG tonight, right? Cathedral in Center Grove. That is going to be a big one, to say the least. Bob Lovell, brought to you by CarX, CarX.com, 14 Central Indiana locations of CarX to serve you today. They bring you Bob Lovell each and every Friday right here. Not only that game, but the rest of what is a huge high school football schedule coming up later on tonight. Bob Lovell joins us. I think Wells is going to be here. Hagan is going to be here as well. We got Don Fisher coming up. And keep in mind, I get to bail at 5:30 because I've got the Colts happy hour thing for an hour, and we've got the Pacers and the Rockets in that 4th and final preseason game coming up later on tonight. That thing tips, I believe, Kyle, right at 7, correct? 7?
Yep, 7 o'clock tip.
Tips at 7. 6:30 is the pregame show. Thus, at 5:30, I have got to get the heck out of Dodge as far as this show is concerned, and then get you to Colts happy hour leading up to 6:30. I'll still be here. We'll still be giving away stuff, but I want to give you a heads up. So if you want to jump on board at 239-1070, time is of the essence. Man, that wind is a little brutal out there right now, huh? Guys' hats falling off, stuff falling over. It's kind of like walking into the RCA Dome back in the day. Yeah, if you had a piece on top of your head, man, and that thing wasn't glued down tight, it was going to fly off like a bird. Going to hit somebody behind you in the face back in the day. Quick break, and we'll come back. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, you can participate as well. The app is working fantastically. The stream, you got HD radio. Olivia, I just love what the sound makes right there. This is great. The stream, the app, HD radio at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. You, me, Bob Lovell next.
Afraid to look at your financial statements? Shredding them without opening them? It's time for a second opinion from Edelman Financial Engines. Our opinions aren't based on intuition or daily market movements. They're grounded in institutional rigor, and all of our planners are fiduciaries who put your interest above all others. So if you need help managing the ups and downs of this market, we're ready to talk. At Edelman Financial Engines, you get personalized investment recommendations from a dedicated wealth planner who doesn't sell products to earn commissions. So stop shredding those financial statements. Let's take a look together. It's time to get a second opinion. Get your complimentary wealth checkup where you can discuss your financial goals with a wealth planner. Call Edelman Financial Engines at 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Make your relationship as romantic as can be. Saturday is Sweetest Day, a special day for couples in love. A gift from Lover's Lane will help you say, I love you. Even better, I want you. Select the perfect gift from sensuous lingerie to playful bedroom essentials. Lover's Lane stores and loverslane.com has everything you will need to make Sweetest Day sweet.
Halloween is almost here. Accessorize your look at Lover's Lane. Be one of a kind in our unique DIY costume accessories.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
October 14th is National Dessert Day, and your ultimate meal with something sweet like their crispy turnover, cinnamon toast crunch cheesecake, or simply a delicious Twin Peaks sundae. At the Lodge, there's always room for dessert.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Sip and save at Circle K with our great new drink subscription. Join Sip and Save today and enjoy one drink a day every day for just $5.99 a month. Enjoy your favorite Circle K ice cold fountain drink, Froster, or freshly ground coffee every day. That's 30 drinks a month for only $5.99. So sip and save at Circle K. Sign up in store or at CircleK.com. Circle K, take it easy.
It's the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Right now, your home equity is at an all-time high, but don't wait. How much can you get? Let's find out today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
Decades of tradition.
And this is a moment that memories are made.
Tailgating in any kind of weather.
The snow coming down nearly in chunks now.
Face painting and school colors. All the ingredients for the American Standard College Football Saturday. It's a Big Ten showdown between two top-ranked teams as number 10 Penn State visits the Big House to take on number 5 Michigan at noon. American Standard College Football Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Oh, I'm super proud of you today for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you come out here. Bud Light Blue Friday, Average Joe's, the house that Rob Sabatini has put together right here. It's where we are in Broad Ripple. I got 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets to give away. Plenty of Jaguars Colts conversation for you. And you can see it right over here. The ice cold Bud Light waiting right here on. By the way, too, Rob told me they've got mini burgers. And I think it says on this sign that's blown over a couple of different times right here before me, $2 mini burgers. I'm all about mini burgers. I don't know about him, but I am all about mini burgers. And they come on mini buns. I love mini burgers on mini buns. Like mini burgers here. $2. Come check that out. Join us here with our good friends from Bud Light and Zinc on a Blue Friday in Broad Ripple at Average Joe's. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline each and every Friday, brought to you by our friends Joe Childers and the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. To find the one nearest you, CarX.com today. Indiana Sports Talk host and more, Bob Lovell is with us. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Hey, John. I'm great. How are you?
Let's just get deeply into what is a mammoth game with Cathedral and Center Grove later on tonight. Holy crap. I can't even imagine. That's at CG, right? How many people are going to try to squeeze in to that mammoth facility later on tonight, Bob?
Thousands. I think it's the easy answer. And as you well know, if you haven't already left to get to that game, you need to do it right now because that's how many people are going to be there. It's going to be huge. Brownsburg at Hamilton Southeastern. How about this? Week number 9, you have these 2 games. Brownsburg number 1, HSC number 4, Center Grove number 2, Cathedral number 3. So you got the top 4 teams in 6A playing amongst one another today. That's incredible.
No, I mean you're right about that too, because it's almost like you could not have set that up schedule maker wise any better, especially for you tonight to get a chance to talk about the before and after with everybody. That's going to be spectacular.
Well, I think it is, and it's one of the cool things about being able to do the show is that sometimes you get that perfect storm, so to speak, and you get great games like that. And Ben Davis, North Central, if Ben Davis wins, they win the MIC. So, there's so much going on tonight, John, around the state. Not just Central Indiana, but all over the state. Another great game. Ron Colley is at East Central. East Central is number 3 in 4A. Ron Colley, number 2. So you're talking about top-ranked teams all over the board tonight playing one another.
Well, and Ron Colley got tripped up by Cincinnati Elder last week.
Right.
And this is one. I mean, you can forget about put that thing in the rear view with Elder, but this is an East Central team that more than likely you could end up seeing here once you get into the one and done atmosphere in a couple of weeks.
They're a team very capable of playing for a championship in 4A. There's no question. And again, I think it just addresses how much balance you have around the state. And why, if you're not getting ready to go to a game, you're making a big mistake, because this is going to be a huge night of high school football around our state.
So Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, brought to you by your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. I do want to double back to Center Grove and Cathedral, if you will. I mean, Cathedral has one loss on their schedule. I think that was earlier this year in Brownsburg. I think CG's lost once. That was to Louisville Trinity early in the season. There's a lot of talent on that football field down in CG coming up later on tonight. How do you size up the matchup, Bob?
I think it's really a toss-up, John. I think Center Grove clearly has dominated in these last 2 or 3 years in 6A. Cathedral with Danny O'Neill, their quarterback, can put up points in a hurry. I think both teams are solid defensively. They have playmakers on both sides. I just think it's one of those. This is a champion. To be honest, this is a state championship level game. I mean, let's be truthful about it. And these are 2 teams that are capable of playing for a championship. And so you want to kind of a preview of what the tournament might be about. I just think it's one of those games where, like most championship type games, you can't make mistakes. These are teams that are prone not to make mistakes. And I just think that big plays are a key in this type of game. And so, Center Grove's offense is capable, very capable of running clock. They're both strong, as I mentioned, defensively. Not sure that there's an edge for either team, to be honest.
To Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I want to talk about 3 teams, in fact, if you don't mind, and then you can size up the matchups as well. Whiteland's a 1-loss team. I mean, Mooresville came into this season with a lot of hype. They're a 2-loss team. And then also size up Franklin. I mean, all in that general vicinity. And, everything could be crashing together relatively soon for these 3 teams.
Well, I think it already is, to be honest, John. I think one of the things, in an overview type of sense, is that it addresses how good the Mid-State Conference really is. I mean, I grew up in it, played in it. This is a year where they've had one of the best years in quite a while. As you mentioned, you're talking about teams that are all ranked. Mooresville number 7, Martinsville number 10. Plainfield has been ranked. Franklin is ranked, I think, 8th in 5A. Whiteland has just had a phenomenal year to this point. To be honest, at one point ranked number 1 in 5A, and so. Franklin's playing Decatur Central tonight. You know how good that's going to be, and so these are teams. Quite frankly, they're different in certain ways. I mean, it's a Whiteland team that's been really, really solid defensively all year long. Greenwood is not playing at the level that these other teams I mentioned are, but they're still very, very capable, and so. Whiteland wins the championship with Mooresville winning last week. They guaranteed Whiteland the share of the Mid-State Conference championship. And so, again, these are all teams capable of making deep runs in their respective classes in the tournament. So it's a big night, a great night for the conference.
You know, it's funny, too, that conference has just become consistently more talented. And a lot of folks would always point to, well, look at the teams, that jumped out of, a former conference and got into it. But this is really about those that have been in this conference for a long time, that are, historically speaking, are from that conference. That's where, football-wise, the bar has been raised. And that to me is really impressive because, you're kind of starting the echoes in Whiteland with this 7-1 season. Obviously, great moments really across the board, Bob. Since they have that new school in Franklin, now you raise those expectations, and those expectations, win-loss-wise, again, across the board in sports, are being met in Franklin. And then, you look at what's been going on in Mooresville in a lot of sports as well. Just a great deal of success with those that have been in that conference for a while.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, John. I think that it's great to see a conference like that has the history it has, have this resurgence, so to speak. Everyone knows I've lived in Franklin since I went to college and never left. And Chris Call has done a fantastic job with the Cubs. They're legit. He's a tremendous coach. He's already won a championship at Tri-West, and so everyone knows his pedigree. And I think in large part, as a former coach, I look at this as a coaches league where, Mike Gillen is a surefire Hall of Famer at Mooresville, and he has had success everywhere he's been, at Indian Creek, at Decatur, now at Mooresville. And you look at the job that's been done at Whiteland. It's just amazing what these coaches have been able to. Darren Fisher has just done a fantastic job, and you just go down the list, and you're talking about resurrecting programs. I think you start with the guys who are making those decisions, and they've really legitimately turned this into one of the best conferences in the state.
Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talks got you covered later on tonight. Of course, brought to you by your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations, CarX.com for that location nearest you. Anything else we haven't discussed you're going to bring up on the big show, Bob, later on tonight?
Tournament starts next week, John.
Crazy talk.
Just so you know, this wraps up the regular season. So, Paul Condor and I were able to get through the pairing show and get everybody ready to go. And so, once you finish tonight, now you're obviously looking forward to next Friday night for round one.
Incredible. Wasn't just like last week when we said, wow, here, the high school football season starting. Here we go.
Well, which means not far away is basketball. So, yeah, it's all going fast.
No, don't. You're trying to catch me with a little bit of hoop right here. I can't. I love the football aspect of it, no doubt. But, man, I am itching to see some hoop, both collegiately and at the high school level. Hey, by the way, I got to give a shout out because I know that you're of the Franklin, Indiana, and Franklin College, and my girl Jessie Johnson taking over the women's program down at Franklin College. Bob, how about that?
Very exciting move. I think everybody's clearly, optimistic, unbelievably excited about that, and so. We're having a lot of success here in Franklin and in Johnson County, John. It's a fun time to be here, quite frankly, sports-wise.
And also because I whip her dad's ass all the time in basketball, too, all the time.
Well, that goes without saying, John. Whomever you competed against, I'm sure they caught the bad end of it.
All right, buddy. Hey, have a great tomorrow night on the air on Indiana Sports Talk, and we'll catch you again next week when the one and done is officially underway, Bob. Appreciate you.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, the high school football preview. Final weekend. Check that. Final Friday night, if you will. I guess you could say weekend as well because I know some teams of the state play on Saturday. But the final week of high school football's regular season, it gets underway one-and-done style for not all, but many coming up next Friday night. But, man, that big one down in CG, I can't imagine. I'm going to have to get some pictures of the crowd there because that's going to be packed, right? Cathedral on Center Grove tonight. I know that a lot of people that I know at Cathedral have been sitting on that thing for a long time. There's no doubt about it. But a battle of one-loss teams Later on tonight down in CG. Right here, we've got Pacers and Rockets coming up for you later on tonight, which will shrink this show by 30 minutes. We'll get into Colts Happy Hour at 5:30 until 6:30, and then the Pacers pregame show takes over coming up at 6. Check that, 6:30. Yeah, what time? 6:30, right? 6:30 for the pregame show, right, Kyle, coming up later on tonight. So there you go. Again, get here. We're in Broad Ripple on a Bud Light Blue Friday. We're at Average Joe's in Broad Ripple. I got 4 pair of Jags Colts tickets to give away. Hagen's going to join us. We've got that coming up. I think Wells is going to be here. John Price at some point. Don Fisher, and a whole lot more on this busy Friday. We are in Broad Ripple at Average Joe's inside the lounge via YouTube Live if you want to watch as well, and 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Start a new career with a job that keeps your community safe. The Marion County Sheriff, Carrie Forrestal, is hiring detention deputies to work in the brand new Community Justice Center. You'll supervise and guard offenders, making Marion County a better place to live. Starting pay begins at around $40,000 a year with a $5,000 signing bonus. Enjoy great benefits like complete health coverage and pension plan. Start your career as a detention deputy and earn the respect of your community. Apply today at joinmcso.indy.gov.
Hey, JMV here for Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Did you think about it? How many of you have turned the crank? How many have? How many have gone from the cooled? How many just finally said, you know what, enough is enough? It was 35 degrees this morning. I got up and I turned on the heat. Listen, I know that some of you do that. I understand why you do that, because you want to remain comfortable in your home. But are you certain that everything is good when you make that official transition from the cold to the hot, from the blue to the red? Hey, check out Johnny Chris Love at Love Heating and Air today and get that system a look over right now. 317-353-2141. The best in the business to make sure you remain comfortable once you hit and go to the red for real in the fall into those colder winter months ahead. That's Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141. Online, love-hvac.com today.
Football is back, and so is your chance to win with BetRivers Sportsbook app. Featuring our new multi-game same-game parlay. Combine the action of multiple same-game parlays in one bet for more action and bigger payouts. Bet the spread, bet the over, bet player props, and more. Throw in daily odds boost plus award-winning customer service, and it's a touchdown. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Indiana only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
In the construction business and tired of dealing with the indifference of big corporate suppliers, Quality Supply and Tool on South Harding Street understands. For over 25 years, owner Kevin Ane has had a different approach.
We at Quality Supply and Tool take pride in being a locally owned family business, committed to service. And every customer's needs are different, and we truly believe in shaping our business to our customers' needs. That's what separates us from the competition.
That's Quality Supply and Tool with additional locations in Bloomington and Jeffersonville to serve Hoosiers better. Partner with Quality Supply and Tool and think outside the box. Store.
Attention BetMGM customers. Have a friend who loves sports as much as you do? Here's a chance for both of you to earn a $50 bonus when they sign up through BetMGM's Refer a Friend program. Just sign into your BetMGM account and click on the Refer a Friend program to send your friend a message inviting them to register a new account in the same state you used BetMGM in. Once your friend signs up and makes a deposit, they'll receive a $50 bonus. And once your friend places a bet with their bonus and the wager is settled, you'll receive a $50 bonus as well. Share the excitement and get a $50 bonus every time you refer a friend to BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable site credit. Site credit expires in 30 days. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John here for your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There's one near you. Make sure that your car, truck, or van good to go for the remainder of the fall months and then into the winter months ahead. Oil changes, tires, brakes, anything mechanically done, it can happen for you at the 14, soon to be 15 Central Indiana CarX locations. Mr. Wraparound Sunglasses Hagen. He would do that as well to make sure you maintain your fall road readiness at CarX. The 14 Joe Childers Run Central Indiana locations. Find it online right now, CarX.com.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate the paint? Well, do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
No paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, everybody, we've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident, there's a painful life-altering injury, huge medical bills, and wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you, in fact, are probably dealing with that right now. So that's where the attorneys at Paul Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. Now, none of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. So even if you're unsure you have a case, give Paul Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experienced legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parinjury.com. That's P-A-R-R injury.com.
It's another Georgia Street Tailgate presented by Peterman Brothers this Sunday starting at 10:30 a.m. prior to the Colts versus Jaguars matchup. Enjoy food, music, and get your game face on prior to this important AFC South matchup. We'll see you at the Georgia Street Tailgate.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
The Pacers wrap up the preseason against the Houston Rockets this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I'm John. Thank you so much for joining us. We're in Broad Ripple on a Bud Light Blue Friday. 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets to give away while we're here. Average Joe's our location. Hey, Alex, come over here for a second, man. Alex at the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel. TheShopIndy.com to order your JMV Takeover T-shirts right now. Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is here. That is solid as a rock right there, isn't it, wraparound?
Hey, I said that off air. I didn't say it to give a plug. I sat down. I was like, man, that's a sweet shirt right there.
Those are badass right there.
Anything they can do to make you look better, I think that is a testament in and of itself. And they did somehow.
Can I make a minor observation?
Is it going to be bad about me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
it's interesting about you, not bad.
Let's hear it.
You've got, I've been in Vegas for a while, voice working. Right.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
I think I drank 24 beers last Saturday.
You've got,
watching,
you've got, I've been in Vegas probably too long.
You get to be my age, and it's not like I'll recover the next day. It's like I'll recover next month. But yeah, it was a great trip. But
I'm gonna have you sing a Barry White song in just a second.
I want to start doing like commercials for automobiles.
I'm Toby Keith.
I'm Toby Keith. Yeah, it is. I've noticed it too on the air. I'm like, man, I sound like crap.
Beef, it's what's for dinner, really quick.
Beef, it's what's for dinner.
That's Hagan. I'm JMV. Alex from the shop at Broad Ripple and Carmel is here. He brought the JMV Takeover T-shirt.
Yeah.
Here it is right here.
In all its glory.
You put that extra large right so everybody can see that son of a gun right there. No, that's okay. Just leave it right there. It's okay. Everybody can see it. No, hey, thank you very much for doing these. These look awesome.
Yeah, they turned out great.
And people can order these still right now to benefit Teachers Treasures?
Yep, they're shipping right now. You order today, it's going to ship out. It'll ship out Monday because we're closed in the warehouse, but yeah, it's gone pretty well. So we've raised some money for Teachers Treasures, which is a good thing.
I love that. In fact, with the free throw shooting, we raised, I think, $7,000 for Teachers Treasures last week.
You don't want me shooting free throws. That does have like a 80s vibe, like a Missing Persons album cover or something like that.
David Bowie, right?
Yeah.
I think our digital department, I think, are the ones down there. I think Nick and the gang are the ones that put that together initially, and then it's on this T-shirt. It looks outstanding.
Why don't you take the fat guy tag off of this? Can I pull this off here?
What the hell's that about? The fat guy tag?
It says triple extra large here.
I'm rolling in comfort, baby.
You can see the graphic.
I don't want to wear some medium.
I'm going to take this label off.
All right. Does that bug you that much?
Yeah, I have OCD. You know that. And look, now you see the whole. Hold it up to the 7 people watching on the computer there.
It was 7 people.
Look at that.
What the hell's happening right there?
That's what I'm.
That's nice right there.
JMV Stardust right there.
All right, what else you got working down at the shop? I know you got a fence out there in front of your place right there.
I mean,
everybody's stuck in the store until they get that fence down, or what?
No, so there's a lot of construction going on in Broad Ripple right now, which is a great thing because they need it infrastructure-wise, and they're doing a lot of great improvements here in Broad Ripple. It's just going to take some time. So if you need a place to go, to drink, shop, make sure you come down here. Give yourself a little bit of extra time to find some parking, but next summer the project will be done.
Beautiful.
Sidewalks are going to be doubled in size. They're going to have lights going across the street. The sewers will be upgraded, so when it rains, you won't be able to kayak down Broad Ripple Avenue.
Nice.
But for right now, the block in front of our store at 918 Broad Ripple is there's a big hole in the ground. You can't access it on the sidewalk, though.
Nice.
So give yourself a little bit of time to park. But, yeah, the local businesses here, don't be scared of the construction. Come out. Support them. Watch your favorite football or baseball or basketball game, whatever you want to do, because we need these local places to survive, like us and Average Joe's. And
love you guys, man. Hey, thanks again for the JMV Takeover T-shirt. That's outstanding.
Always fun to do stuff with you.
Got to do more, too. To benefit teachers' treasures, available right now, theshopindy.com. Search on the search bar, JMV Takeover. There you go. Get the shirt.
Now we need the Hagen Hangover shirt.
I need a picture of the steak. The Hagen eating steak.
No, don't do that. Listen, we haven't talked to you for a month after that.
It's
you gotta laugh at yourself, though.
Well, the funny thing was, I've said this a million times, if it was just a photo gallery of 20 photos of people eating steak, I'd be like, oh, that's funny. It was 19 posed for handsome photos, and then me with a giant piece of ribeye going in my pie hole. I'm like,
you had that cowboy thing.
I was like,
who would like Fred Flintstone?
Yeah. Who would think, let's throw this in the photo gallery. This will be great. Here's local sports anchor Chris Hagen. So I was like, get that down. What is this?
No,
so, yeah, believe me, I can make fun of myself, but I was, can you say the word PISS on the radio?
You can if you want.
I was pissed.
You can.
I'm okay now, though. Thanks for bringing it up,
You can't find it on the internet. You scrubbed it somehow. That is an accomplishment.
We had the CIA come in and do some work.
That's awesome. Brother, thank you very much.
John.
The shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel, theshopindy.com, the JMV Takeover T-shirt to benefit teachers' treasures can be purchased right then. Do it now. Hagen, me, we're going to rejoin you on the other side. Mike Wells is going to be here as well. I've got your chance at 4 Jaguars Colts tickets, 4 pair in all. We're in Broad Ripple. Average Joe's Bud Light Blue Friday, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Dan Dakich lays some knowledge.
A win is a win is a win. We got a win from the Colts. Are you kidding me? Yes, it was a horrendous game. Yes, unless the Colts figure it out, they ain't going to win nothing. But they won, and there's only 17 of them. The fact of the matter is they needed a win desperately. They had to get a win, and they got a win. However they got it.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, John here for your real growing hair again. Butt cut, feathered on the side, comb in the back pocket. If you want that look again, if you don't want to lose your hair and you want the real growing hair, talk to Darren Andrews at PAI. 888-724-5129. You have real growing hair options with PAI. 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairEddie.com today.
Introducing Spectrum One. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits per second. Advanced Wi-Fi with best-in-class security and privacy. Spectrum Mobile with unlimited talk, text, and data plus nationwide 5G. Get it all with Spectrum One. Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for only $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com or a Spectrum store today. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Hey, John, for Andy Moore, Buick GMC 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers. Talk to Eric Wilson. He's going to set you up with the ride of your choice. I'm telling you, hassle-free. With the inventory, the price tag, and the best car buying experience anywhere, tell Eric Wilson I sent you to Andy Moore, Buick GMC 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Owner Beth Rovazini has a quiz you can take to help decide whether fixing or replacing is a better option for that older system.
Joe, we've gone through and made a list and assigned points to different things to help you decide when is it time to repair and when is it time to replace. A properly installed system should last 15 to 20 years, and sometimes when you get in that 10 to 15 year, you don't know.
B+W.com for the quiz from B&W, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey, JMV for CarX Tire and Auto, serving the Indianapolis market for over 40 years. 14 Central Indiana, Joe Childers run locations of CarX. I'm talking absolutely everything for your car, truck, or van. Full service auto repair specialists. We're talking brakes, tires, engine alignments, exhaust, oil changes, all that and more. And how about this for a JMV special? $109.99 lifetime brake pads per axle and save $200 on a set of 4 select Continental tires. Those are the JMV specials. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to serve you. Car, truck, or van, they have exactly what you're looking for. Full service auto repair all in one place. Tell Joe Childers I sent you. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There is one near you. Find out where it is online today. It's CarX.com.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your trusted choice in Central Indiana. For over 30 years, we've treated all walks of life, from peewees to professionals and Olympians, and everyone in between. Schedule at any of our 21 convenient locations, even without a doctor's order. Indiana Physical Therapy is cost-effective, accepting all insurance plans and networks. We're open from 7 to 7 and can get you in the same day you call. Go to IndianaPT.com.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Hi, I'm Chad Peterman.
And I'm Tyler Peterman. During the month of October, if you install a qualifying AC system with us, as an added bonus, we'll include a brand new furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
Get your home ready for winter before the cold sets in.
Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim your free furnace today.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
The big fall sale is on till October 16th at Sundown Gardens. 20 to 50% off all nursery items and perennials in stock. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
Imagine being able to pay off all your credit cards and maybe even missing a few months of mortgage payments. Learn more about a simple cash-out refinance today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Brand's hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. We're in Broad Ripple. Bud Light Blue Friday. I got 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets to give away. So you got to get here for it. Remember, I got to bail at 5:30. Head to Colts Happy Hour. 6:30, Pacer pregame show. The Rockets. The Houston Rockets with Akeem Olajuwon, with Ralph Sampson, with Mario Elie, with Kenny Smith. No, not that group. A different group of Rockets come to town. Hey, speaking of sports, by the way, too, afternoon baseball, game 2, ALDS, best of 5, tied at 2. Yankees batting in the bottom of the 8th inning game, tied at 2. Nobody out, nobody on. And we'll see what happens. Again, tied at 2 with the Guardians trying to even that up. I had a game apiece in that best of 5.
WROL.
You like that, don't
Yeah.
you? Man, your voice could get it done. You could be a station voice right now.
I was trying to imitate. Yeah, I could. That's my dream is one day just do VO work.
Say, putting the wattage in your cottage.
Is that what you said?
No, I don't know. Somebody did once upon a time.
I just want to wake up and like they email you some scripts and you go down there and you boom, knock them out. See you later.
Yeah.
Deposit that into my account.
Nice. It's Hagen, JMV, Broad Ripple, Average Joe's, Get Here, Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. Friend of the show in Brownsburgian, and really better known, I think, in all circles, and especially on this show, as Layla's dad, Mike Wells, joining us now of ESPN Radio. Hello, Mike. How are you?
What's up, fellas? And I will say this actually two things. We went with some Michael Jackson on the reentry, which is not normal for our Friday 4 o'clock slot.
Yeah, and I forgot. I kind of forgot. That's on me. My bad.
And then Hagen has the best job television-wise in this market. He is the only main sports guy who does not work on a Friday. He spends his Fridays hanging out with you, drinking adult beverages, breaking his neck, looking at the scenery, while the Calhouns and the Calabros, and the Whitlicks, and I don't know who's running RTV6, Brad Brown. They're out there working.
Yeah, he's a one-man gang over there, I think. Yeah, he may be the only employee they have. I know it.
Wells, come talk to me when I'm working 13 hours on Sunday. I work Sunday through Thursday. We have a 30-minute show Sunday morning and a 30-minute show Sunday night. So a man's entitled to his back-to-back 2 off days, and mine just happen to be Friday and Saturday.
Hey, Jay, check this out, though, bro. You know I'm about to mess with Hagen, right? I know the guy who oversees the station where Chris Whitlick used to work at. He works Fridays, and they had their pregame show on Sunday and their postgame show on Sunday and a show on Sunday night.
Yeah, but we have viewers that actually watch those shows, so we have to make sure they're good.
Well, let me tell you this. This is why I'm on every Sunday night with Hagen, because that's how you're going to know that they're going to get their ass whipped. You know what I mean? I come on there. Yeah, I'm like the Hammer. You know, I'm like the Jose Batista 7 years ago game-winning home run bat flip. That's me every Sunday night with Hagen right there.
And I love it because I love it's like you're in your living room hanging out, and you don't have to drive over off to West 71st Street. You can be down on the south side and do it.
And see,
that's got to be.
There's proof right there. There's proof right there what show Wells is watching, JMV. He's just sit there and describe what he sees.
He knows. I know he's watching. He's not. Listen, I know he's going to watch us.
I am jealous of Wells, though, today, because Wells has himself a brand new Buc-ee's T-shirt that he was sporting today.
Yes. I got to give a shout-out to the famous person in my household, Miss Layla. She went down to Kentucky on a glamping trip, staying in a nice cabin all week for fall break with her friend from Roncalli, the Kramers, the tall girl that you asked about, Jay. They took her down there, and they stopped at Buc-ee's and got me a shirt and brought back. And that is my new favorite shirt that I'll be wearing. So props to Miss Layla. And once again, the South Side coming through for me, man. You folks on the South Side know how to take care of you. Folks on the South Side know how to take care of me, Jay.
Well, I mean, here's what else they're probably going to do. They're probably going to talk because they talk to me. They're going to try to talk to us to get our daughters to go over to Roncalli. That's coming.
Woo! I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's coming. I'm telling you.
Tell Laney to go ahead and go to Roncalli because I mean, we who knows what's going to happen at Center Grove when the girls get to high school, man. I mean, based on conversations you and I have had about how things are rolling, we need Laney to make sure there's not going to be any daddy ball getting in the way, man.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing. You're going to get to the point where there's no more daddy ball involved, which is going to be I guess going to be decent. So yeah. Anyway, I hear about that all the time. So I'm just probably thinking you hear the same thing. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, away from that for a moment, you covered the Colts for such a long time, and now you get to, occasionally talk about them when you're on ESPN Radio as well, doing the national thing. Did you ever think when you first started covering the Colts that they were going to be that team that others kind of lined up in the crosshairs to beat the crap out of within the division?
Hold on, wait. Repeat that. I lost you for a second. What'd you say, brother?
It feels like now, the way that everybody around here felt about Jacksonville, felt, in the past about Tennessee, and certainly still feel about Houston. It seems like the Colts have now become that. They're the team that others in the division say, hey, we're going to go up there and beat the crap out of them. We're going to bring them in here and beat the crap out of them. They've kind of become that team.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I don't think Doug Peterson and the Jaguars are going to come in and say, oh, my God, we're playing the Colts this weekend. We have no chance to win. Jacksonville has won 2 straight over the Colts. They shut them out a couple weeks ago. They knocked them out of the playoffs in Week 18 last year. They feel like they are the better team of the 2 in this division. We've seen what the Tennessee Titans have had the number, who the Colts are going to play the following weekend. I mean, the Houston Texans are the Houston Texans, but they did get a tie on them. But nobody in the division fears the Indianapolis Colts anymore. In fact, I think it's been a number of years since anybody has feared the Colts in the AFC South. I think after 2018, people probably say, okay, the Colts are back to being where they're at before because Andrew Luck will be back again and they can take over the AFC South once more after Bill O'Brien and the Texans doing it. But now they're like, you know what? The Colts are just a team in the division, not the team, a team in the AFC South.
And they're the only team in the division this year that doesn't have a division win. 0-2-1. I mean, the Texans go down there and handle business at Jacksonville, something the Colts couldn't do. And as we talked about before, everybody has won that AFC South division except the Colts since 2014. So definitely, and the days are gone where you just line up and say, okay, they're going to go 5-1 or 6-0 in the division, and that's your head start to the playoffs. It's other teams thinking, hey, this is a team we can go sweep this team. We can go sweep the Colts and get on the right foot. So yeah, that's why so much is at stake this Sunday. Trying to, if you drop this one and then go lose at Tennessee, and you're sitting there 0-4-1 in the division. I mean, you can hang it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm willing to bet anybody $1,000 that they didn't believe through the first 5 weeks of the season that they thought the Colts' 2 victories were going to be against the AFC West, the best of supposedly the best division in the NFL. They figured, okay, there would be probably 3-2 going in because they're playing the AFC South. Things are supposed to be back rolling again. They're finally in that losing streak down in Jacksonville. Get those 3 wins. Okay, then you lose to Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes, and you're still sitting in a great spot because you have the 3-0 in the division. Instead, like Hagan just alluded to, only team in the division that is yet to have a win, and their 2 victories on the season are against a division that has been highly overrated. And beating Patrick Mahomes and Denver Broncos.
If I lined it up and said, hey, okay, after 5 weeks, the Colts will be 2-2-1, you figure out which teams they beat, lost to, and tied, nobody would be anywhere close to figuring out that puzzle, even if you told them the record was 2-2-1.
Oh, hell no, ain't nobody figuring that one out. No. I mean, listen, like I said, I'd give somebody $1,000 if they said that their 2 victories are going to be against Denver and Kansas City. We know that was not the case.
I said this earlier this week, Mike, that if you went back to July and if I were to tell you then, this is how this offense is going to play. This is how this offensive line is going to look. This is how, for the most part, your quarterback is going to look. If I were to tell everybody that, people would suggest that you're probably an 0-for or maybe luckily a 1-win team on the season. And then if I were to say, all right, can you bet or guess which 2 games that you won, nobody would have said back in July Kansas City or Denver.
No. They definitely would not have said that. Listen, I think nobody would have guessed that this offensive line would have been as bad as it's been. And listen, I think we can all agree it's been like that in all 5 spots. Nobody would assume that Quentin Nelson would not be as dominant as he was in years past. I mean, I know there's some people who like to talk in the air and say, oh, yeah, they saw this coming, blah, 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 and things like that. Nobody thought that Quentin Nelson would be struggling at times the way he has. Nobody would have thought that the question during a Wednesday press conference with Frank Reich about if Ryan Kelly is going to lose his starting job, the guy they gave a contract extension to several years ago, the guy who's been a Pro Bowl center, would have his starting job in jeopardy, whether they would move Braden Smith, their starting right tackle, back to right guard where he started his career, and now looking like he will move back to right tackle this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nobody would have guessed these problems. I think the focus strictly would have been on, okay, the wide receiver position and, is Matt Ryan that guy? Can he do enough to carry him? But instead, The questions are flowing nonstop, which is great for radio for your show, Jay. But I don't think, as you're a Colts fan, there's no way in hell you thought this was going to be the case.
What's crazy as well is, I mean, they're fortunate. I know it's a razor, fine line between winning and losing this league, and the Colts are 2-2-1. They could easily be sitting here 0-5 when you think about the Chris Jones unsportsmanlike penalty. Russell Wilson throws a pick in the end zone when they're going in to put that thing away, and then the Texans, turning the ball over when they had led by 17. Fortunate to be where you are, and despite all the problems they've had and all the injuries, everything is still out there for them. If they can handle their business the next 2 weeks, they'll be alone in first place, and all is forgiven.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and you guys might disagree with me on this. As flawed as the Colts are right now, as many problems as they have, they are going to win the AFC South still. They are going to win the division still because the AFC South is flawed. It's not like the Colts are truly the most dominant team in the division, despite having 2 losses and a tie in it. They're going to win the division because the division is very, very flawed. So they will get it by default, and they will find a way to get to the playoffs. I didn't say how many wins they were going to have this season, but they will win the division.
Here's the problem. Mike Wells joins us on ESPN Radio every Friday, along with Chris Hagan. Me, I'm JMV, Average Joe's and Broad Ripple on a Bud Light Blue Friday. The problem I have is it's not even so much about the personnel, is that Tennessee is going to win this thing until Tennessee no longer can, because they're just simply tougher, and they grind it out no matter the situation better than anybody else. And neither the Jaguars and certainly the Colts in this case have ever shown they're capable of doing that and winning that way. So I will always believe in Tennessee here in the short term until they give me a reason not to, because to me, that's something that I think Jim Irsay is pretty jealous about or smitten about with Tennessee and Mike Vrabel and how they're run, because they seemingly get past and still win regardless of the injury circumstances or anything else. They're just tougher than everybody else.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think their run goes, and I've been adamant on your show that I think Mike Vrabel is the most underrated head coach in the NFL, because his team has taken on his personality as far as, we may be ugly, but we found a way to get the job done. And that's kind of how Mike Vrabel's NFL career was, is that he didn't care about flash, but I think the run ends in that situation. You made a great point. You mentioned Jim Irsay, is very jealous of that. He should be jealous of that. I mean, that's like all of Hagen's ex-girlfriends looking at him and seeing him a star on television. They're like, man, I wish I had that right there. I wish I had that 4'1" little ginger right there. That's what Jim Irsay is to the Tennessee Titans. It's Hagen's ex-girlfriends looking at him being a TV star.
That might be the best sports analogy ever, Wells, in the history of radio.
Are there girls you went to high school with that are jealous because of your fame and fortune?
Oh, I'm sure there are many. Yeah. There's several. What's funny is people I went to high school with don't even know that I'm on television, because they're all
What are they all
back
doing?
in
what
Birmingham.
Do they do down there?
Tell you what, those Southern girls, they age gracefully. I mean, had the high school reunion, and I was like, wow, it's crazy.
Man, okay. Well, they're in the backwoods of Alabama where they don't have television reception.
They don't have cable. Yeah, that's right, Wells.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why that Jim Irsay has been so outspoken regarding this is what we have to do, this is who we have to catch in Tennessee, is because he is jealous. He is smitten because his team is supposed to resemble that. That's how they're supposed to be able to win, too. It's not all about the skill positions, right? It's not all about all this. It's about being able to grind it out, play with your foundation, your offensive line, run the football, all of which has gone absolutely haywire this season. And by the way, Mike, if this offensive line doesn't improve just to be decent, this team has zero chance. It has been a joke how bad they have been so far this year.
Man, and I can't say they were as bad as the Ryan Grigson years when Andrew Luck was getting his head beat in on a regular basis, but they are trying to teeter to that. They are trying to teeter to that, and again, that's with three guys. who you gave contract extensions to, who you felt like was going to be long-term solutions up front because, you know, you want to be able to win in the trenches on the defensive line and the offensive line. And you mentioned the whole Jim Irsay, you know, believing that, okay, you can win no matter what kind of way. Think about this. That's what Chris Ballard said he wanted to build his roster around, not just around the quarterback, that you didn't want to put it on just one position. You wanted to be able to win in a number of different ways, if it meant winning ugly, winning off the ground, winning through the air, winning off turnovers. You did not put everything on the right arm or the left arm of whoever your starting quarterback is, and that approach currently is not working for the Indianapolis Colts.
You always talk about, you know, in sports, maybe they can flip a switch, maybe they can do this. It's the same guys. It's on paper. It's this and that. What's one critical thing that maybe even small, but one thing that could change, and as you said, send this team to the division title? What's the key one thing to change?
It's what Jay just alluded to. You got to fix the offensive line. Because the offensive line, you fix offensive line, the dominoes will start to fall in place. And by fixing it, you stop trying to change it up and stop playing, you know, trying to play matchmaker every single week, trying to see what combination is going to work. I never thought Frank Reich would be in a position of saying, okay, we have to tinker with this, we have to tinker with that, we have to find the right combinations. When he got hired in 2018, that's when the O-line started to take off and develop. You thought the foundation was there, and now the Colts are heading into week 6, and they could have a different starting offensive line. You get that offensive line right, that should help Jonathan Taylor. That should help Matt Ryan in his, you know, having the fumble on the ball, you know, fumbling the ball and throwing it and getting sacked so many times. That right there, if that gets fixed, the Colts are going to take off. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think the O-line is capable of getting fixed, or is the damage done for this unit up front?
I think it's not like these guys just fall off overnight. I think it's there. I don't know if it's, you know, if it's mental, if it's a confidence thing, if it's a chemistry thing, as you said, musical chairs and moving guys around. But as we've heard before, one weak link on the line can ruin the whole thing. It's not like, wow, all 4 or 5 guys really blew that play up. It can be one guy. And so I think that's why they do have the Rubik's Cube. They're out there trying to spin it and get it set right where all the colors are on the right side. So I think it is fixable. I think they can get it going. But as you alluded to earlier, when Frank Reich shows up and then after a draft or two, they were sitting there with a number 1 pick at center, a first-round pick at center, Ryan Kelly, a first-round pick, Quentin Nelson, first-round pick, Anthony Costanzo, and you had an overall number 1 pick at quarterback in Andrew Luck. So the deck was stacked for greatness and to go forward. And then Luck retires, Costanzo retires maybe a little bit sooner than they thought he would. And since then, you know, that's when you're trying to fill those holes.
Hey, Mike, can I tell you something? You brought up, you know, an old-school Grigson offensive line. And, you know, again, I don't want to rehash all this Grigson crap. But when I look at,
trust me.
Yeah,
enough people do that already, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, people get worn out on that. So I will tell you this: that you look at that offensive line. I think it was in year number 1. I can't remember who played left guard, but you had Samson Satele was the center, Mike McGlynn was the right guard, Winston Justice was the right tackle, and then Anthony Costanzo was the left tackle. I think just because you had such a solid component at left tackle, I would take that offensive line, even with Luck running for his life right now, over the one that we have seen through the first 5 weeks of the season. Because these guys look like that, at least a couple of them, got paid and then regressed. And then you have a solidified left tackle in Costanzo at that moment, which you don't have right now. You hope that Ryman is going to be that. But let's just face it, he's going to have more times this season when he's the starter at left tackle, looking like what he did early in that game over a week ago in Denver. So just because you have a solidified left tackle, which is one of the essentials in the NFL to be good, I would look back at that line at almost being better or something I would want more than the one that you see right now that has gone simply in the first 5 weeks, Mike Haywire.
Oh my goodness, hey Jay, I just broke out hives, man. I'm cringing even thinking about that. But you also made an excellent point, because question the left tackle, Eric Fisher was not good last season. He was the weak link on the offensive line, and I know
he's better than what you have right now, too. Yeah.
Oh my! And that is scary as hell. That is scary as hell because there was so many times that Eric Fisher looked so lost out there last season, and he just looked like an old man trying to play in quicksand. That is very scary. And think about this. Okay, you have your new starting left tackle going forward. Unless a young man screws it up, he'll be there. So he's going to learn on the fly. You're learning on the fly while playing catch up to the rest of the division.
I even look at it.
Hey, listen. Hey, Hagen. That right there is a mixture. That's a bad combination. That's a combination of if you had to put Jay and mix him in with somebody else in his worst enemy and thinking that's going to work.
I wonder who that would be.
I can just tell you this, Mike, that even last week when they rearranged the deck chairs on the proverbial Titanic of that offensive line, that didn't work either. And then you're thinking about, why did you even put Matthew Pryor at right tackle? And since then they've talked about wanting to run it better or creating running lanes, which I guess they did because both Lindsey and Jackson did run the ball better than decently on Thursday night. But I can equally make the argument that maybe Denver didn't give a crap because 28 wasn't out there. So why are you going to concentrate on that position when the best at that position isn't out there? So I just, even doing that and not putting Pryor at right guard, which is, I think, where he's going to start coming up on Sunday, and putting him at right tackle, and then to start the season, if you're Chris Ballard, believing that he was going to be able to be your starting left tackle is still ridiculous. Absolutely is.
Man, it really is. It's the whole trying to think. I mean, wide receiver, offensive line. Those are two things that Chris Ballard has been very reluctant to address. I mean, we all know the quarterback situation. We know what's going on at the whole roulette at quarterback. But two very important positions that Ballard has tinkered with and decided not to fully address is biting them in the rear end.
Yeah. Well, and I say this, Mike, this is essentially Chris's baby. This offensive line. This is my philosophy. This is my blueprint. This is how, it's going to be built. And this is how we'll thrive. This is how we'll win. This is how we're going to get those results that Jim Irsay is looking for. And, it's not working. And to a degree, you look at the defensive line, which has had its struggles. At least you got DeForest Buckner with a couple of sacks, and Ngakoue got one last week in Denver. And I will, because we've been ripping a lot, I will give credit where credit is due. Stephon Gilmore brought in here to be a playmaker, and you can say what you want about how awful Denver was offensively. He stepped up and basically won a game for the Colts. That's exactly the reason why you bring him in here. That's why they did, and that paid off a week ago Thursday night.
Yeah, that, and listen, I think Kwity Pace. I mean, I know he's hurt now, but I feel like he's coming in his own too. I feel like Kwitty's coming up and making things. And I was one who questioned the Stephon Gilmore thing. Like, did he have anything left after winning Defensive Player of the Year in 2019? And he has played. Now, he did not play his ass off. He has played his ass off the entire season. And so he has done it in multiple games.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jump you there, Wellesley. So given all that, and we just, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Based on what you say, can I take it you think the Colts are going to win this game Sunday?
Yeah, I got to win it. I got the Colts winning on Sunday. I think they win. And listen, I said they were going to win the division. So in order to win the division, they got to find a way to get a win in the division. And I think that happens this weekend. I know Trevor Lawrence has semi-balled out the last two games against the Colts. Both those games were in Jacksonville. I think it'll be different this weekend. I think they pull it off. Are we 3-0 this weekend, or we got some people a little hesitant?
No, I had to do my picking. I had to do my picking yesterday. I just, I have a lot of have-tos, right? And when I talk about this team, and I described weeks 1 and weeks 2, and really every week as I have to. But you put yourself in a 2-2-1 position, and especially 0-2-1 within the own division, where it's a have to. I mean, it's a have to on Sunday. It's a have to a week from Sunday, down in Nashville. And if you don't, I mean, you very well could bury yourself here before Halloween. So I would also look at it. These guys have to be reading, hearing, watching, knowing what's being said about them. At some point, everybody expects them to get up off the mat, and play well because they always get off the slow starts. It's going to test that because this group really hasn't shown that to any level so far. And going through what they've gone through against Jacksonville, I think it will be embarrassing if they come out there and start that game off as we have seen them usually doing this season. It'll be embarrassing if they lose that game to Jacksonville on Sunday, regardless of what happened back in week 2. That's how big of a must this is coming up on Sunday.
They're going to have that crowd to start the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that crowd. You don't want to go down 10-0 and then that thing turns on you. But, yeah, Wells, I got them winning too. I got the Colts winning ugly. I got them winning like 19-16, something goofy like that.
Man, listen, I knew we were 3 smart guys. Of course, if they lose, everybody's going to call us a bunch of a-holes at about 4:30.
Yeah, they call me that anyway.
That happens anyway, yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Hey, tell the awesome Layla I said hello. Enjoy the Brownsburg game. I'm sure you're going to watch later on tonight, and we'll talk at you again next Friday.
All right, fellas, y'all be good. Talk to y'all later.
Mike Wells of ESPN Radio, Mike Wells of Every Friday on this show, and it's probably breaking a little bit of new ground with watching the Colts compared to covering them in the past, but we all kind of saw this team sliding into this right now. Do you think that other teams within the division look at them as a team now that they should go in on the road and then a home beat, much like we've looked at the other teams within the division over the years?
Well, it's like I said, we live here in the bubble, so it's all positivity, and you hear positive messages from the coaches and the players. I think in other markets, other radio shows, they're sitting down there in Jacksonville going, yeah, let's go up there and win this game. It's a winnable game. That was my imitation of a Jacksonville JMV. I don't think they look at this game like they did in years past, like, man, we're going to have to get some breaks to go up there and win. I think Jacksonville's probably thinking, hey, we go play our game and play clean, we're going to win. And that's something that gets between the ears. You have a team that in years past we're chalking it up as we're no good, we're losers. I don't think Jacksonville feels that way anymore. They went out there and beat albeit the Rams and played like crap. They went out there and beat the Rams on their home turf. So they're not going to be intimidated coming in here. They've already shut the Colts out once this year, punched them right in the mouth. So I don't think they're going to come in here feeling like they need to get some breaks. They're going to feel like, hey, we got this one circled as we can go up there and win.
Well, the one thing they did do in week number 2 is they just consistently put pressure on Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And that was really kind of the beginning of the, this is how this offensive line is playing.
Yeah, this is a problem.
And the issue in that game, if you remember, that they can easily come off the edge with Allen or Walker or whatever, but they were twisting and going up the middle.
Stunts.
And you saw so many guys, Chris, get to Ryan, get to the backfield untouched. And we'll see if that is kind of the same.
What was surprising about that was I was in the locker room in Houston, and they'd made that furious rally, and they felt like, okay, that's more like us. That fourth quarter is who we are, and we should have won the game. We missed the field goal. We're just going to take this and build on that and take it in Jacksonville, and then you go get skunked. So then that's when you really start, like you said, you start scratching your head and going, there may be a problem here.
Take it. I'm JMV. We're at Average Joe's. We're in Broad Ripple. Bud Light Blue Friday. Remember, we got to bail from the show at 5:30 for Colts Happy Hour. But until then, you got more of me and Hagan. If you guys want to jump on board at 239-1070, Kyle will set you up, and we will talk with you about the importance of the game on Sunday and your thoughts of the game coming up on Sunday. 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets to give away too, courtesy of Zinc and our friends at Bud Light on a Blue Friday. We're in Broad Ripple. We'll give you an update on that ALDS Game 2 going on in the Bronx. It's going on right now, and more to come here on the Friday edition of this show. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
This is the Colts preview on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor.
Good afternoon. Welcome into the Colts preview today, brought to you by Arby's. On game days, Colts fans can get 4 classic roast beefs for just $10 at participating Indianapolis Arby's locations. That's 4 famously tender Arby's roast beefs for just $10, valid on classic size only. Well, we're less than 48 hours away from Colts and Jaguars Part 2, and the Colts are looking for their first winning streak of any kind on Sunday and aiming to even the season series with the Jags after being blanked back in Week 2, 24-0. The injury report, a big storyline going into this game. The Colts have ruled out Kwity Paye and Shaq Leonard on defense, so Zaire Franklin will continue to man the middle of that defense at the linebacker spot. He's tied for the league lead in tackles with 54 going into Week 6. Also look for Taekwon Lewis and Dayo Adangbo to play for the injured Paye. Jonathan Taylor comes into the game questionable with an ankle. Nyheim Hines has one more step to clear in the concussion protocol in order to play on Sunday, and Ryan Kelly is dealing with a hip, and his status for Sunday is up in the air. And Julian Blackmon should be back on Sunday to man his safety position after missing the last 2 games with an ankle problem. The Colts are looking to notch their first AFC South win of the season and get the offense jump-started. Currently, the Colts are last in the NFL in scoring and tied for last in sacks allowed, but they will have Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce back in this game after missing both players back in Week 2. Pittman has at least 50 receiving yards in 3 of his first 4 games, and the rookie Pierce has 15 catches on the season, which is tied with Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison for the most catches in franchise history through 4 games. Sunday's game starts at 1. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. with the Colts pregame huddle, and that's it for the Colts preview today, brought to you by Arby's on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Robert Kirby says they sell the American Standard brand because American Standard listens to the techs who install and service their products.
We went down to the factory and they want your feedback. Being in the field, you can actually see some things that they could change on the product to make it better. And right there on the line, I mean, they actually take your input.
Call Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Hey, it's John here for the absolute best out there. That is our friends at Caesars Sportsbook. Go ahead and log on right now. Download that app and then use the promo code Radio Full. Get that first bet risk-free. Again, with Caesars Sportsbook, up to $1,250. And if you lose, you're going to get that back in site credit. That is easy. And also, utilize it this weekend. Check it out for the first time if you're a new user to Caesars Sportsbook. Check out the Colts matchup coming up with Jacksonville on Sunday. You can use that. Go with other interesting bets you might want to make. But again, that first bet is going to be risk-free thanks to Caesars Sportsbook. Download the app and utilize the promo code RADIOFULL, RADIOFULL. That's RADIOFULL today. And also, keep in mind the difference with Caesars Sportsbook than everybody else out there. They offer Caesars rewards, tickets, free stays, experiences, and more. That's Caesars Sportsbook. Promo code RADIOFULL today. Open to new users in Indiana who are 21 years or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned to side credit. Got to use that within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Rally House, shop every team in town. College and pro, come on, it's time to go.
Get ready for kickoff, Indy. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Colts sideline gear and the latest college styles.
Pacers, Colts, Indiana Hoosiers, Boilermakers, Bulldogs, Fighting Irish. Rally House, it's your city, it's your house, it's a Rally House.
Gear up in-store and online at rallyhouse.com.
Hey, it's JMV for CarX Tire and Auto, serving the Indianapolis market for over 40 years. 14 Central Indiana, Joe Childers run locations of CarX. I'm talking absolutely everything for your car, truck, or van. Full service auto repair specialist. We're talking brakes, tires, engine alignments, exhaust, oil changes, all that and more. And how about this for a JMV special? $109.99 lifetime brake pads per axle and save $200 on a set of 4 select Continental tires. Those are the JMV specials. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to serve you. Car, truck, or van, they have exactly what you're looking for. Full service auto repair all in one place. Tell Joe Childers I sent you. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There is one near you. Find out where it is online today. It's CarX.com.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I always enjoy telling our customers about our jewelry and how special it is. Like our cultured pearls. And right now, pearls are more popular than ever. Pearl strands, drop earrings, pearl rings, worn stacked and layered, everyone's wearing them. Did you know that a pearl takes 2 to 3 years to form inside a mollusk? It takes on the color of the nacre, the interior of the shell. So a lavender nacre will produce a lavender pearl. At Shane Company, our pearls are known for their beautiful luster. They're in their natural colors and never dyed. We source them directly from pearl farmers around the world. And we string our pearl strands with an individual knot between each pearl for extra security. Visit us today or chat with us online. We don't work on commission, so you'll never feel rushed or pressured. Whether you come in for a new on-trend pearl necklace or a diamond engagement ring, we'll educate you about our jewelry, so you'll leave feeling like an expert.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, Johnny from BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. My friends, it opens up officially for you coming up at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. All you can eat, all you can drink. You got celebrity chef Aaron May, who puts all the menu together. You got skids, you got Helicon, you got entertainment. It is going to be the best game day experience possible. With that, my friends at BullseyeEventGroup.com, get your passes right now. Plus, going to Vegas coming up in November. Make sure you're a part of that. The flight to and from, Caesars Palace stay, and tickets to the game, along with a Vegas-style Colts VIP tailgate. Make sure you're a part of it. That's coming up quick in November with the Colts and the Raiders on the road in Vegas. Log on and make sure you're a part of it today. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
This is Ryan Newman for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I love my family, and I appreciate every moment we spend together. We've talked about some pretty tough stuff over the years, and one thing they know for sure is that I've signed up to be an organ donor. So the next time you're with your family, take a moment and let them know you love them, and be sure they know your decision to be an organ donor. You can learn more at donatelifeindiana.org.
Hey, PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. If you want your real growing hair, again, 888-724-5129. I'm telling you, it works. Talk to Darren Andrews today, 888-724-5129. Real growing hair at PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
It's the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Text Spartan to the Mower Shop in Fisher, 317-849-9500 for $500 off RZ, CRZ, and RZ Pro Spartan mowers with instant rebate on extended warranty. TheMowerShop.com.
The Ride with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back to Broad Ripple. Average Joe's Bud Light Blue Friday. Colts injury report today. As far as game day status is concerned, Jonathan Taylor listed as questionable. Julian Blackmon listed as questionable. Naheem Hines, as of right now, coming back from that concussion, listed as questionable for the game against the Jaguars coming up on Sunday. Bud Light Blue Friday. Jaguars Colts tickets will give away courtesy of Bud Light and Average Joe's with you coming up in a minute. Chris Hagan is rejoining us. I did want to mention this. Bruce Sutter, a Hall of Fame reliever. He was the Cy Young Award winner, I believe, back in 1979 in the National League. Passed away. He was 69. I don't know about you. He's the first pitcher that I can remember where they talked about him using the split finger
fastball. Yeah, that was his big thing.
I can remember.
They're like, he's got that split finger. Yeah, and he had the odd delivery, and he would bring it unhittable at times.
Where does he rank as far as all-time great closers in your book? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like Mariano Rivera being the greatest of all time.
Like, think about guys like Dennis Eckersley, John Smoltz, Bobby Thigpen, and
Quisenberry, Henke, Reardon.
There was just that mystique of, if your team's playing certain guys and it's 2-1 or whatever, and you're going to the bottom of the ninth, and you see one of those guys come out, you're like, well, the game's just over. He's not gonna he's not going to blow this. And that really became a thing when you started thinking about a specialty pitcher that was, oh, well, let's just throw a reliever out there. Let's just throw who hadn't thrown. It became like, this guy's a specialist. He's going to come in and it's lights out. We'll see you later.
Yeah, that's the first person I can remember that ever mentioned the split-fingered fastball that he was throwing.
Coming in, you did, and it's sad as you get older because this is going to happen more. Like actors we really admired and athletes, it happens to everybody. It's just a sign of the times. But it's sad when I was a kid, my dad would say, "Oh, I used to watch." The names he would say of athletes or people passing away wouldn't really resonate. But now, as we get older, it really does, and that's not to be Debbie Downer, but coming in, you said, "Hey, so and so, he's probable, he's questionable." Who made up those terms? Like instead of 30. Oh, he's hurt. He might play. He might not. Then we had to get the degrees of how he's questionable, probable, doubtful. Now doubtful is worse than questionable, isn't it? Doesn't it go?
It is.
It goes out, doubtful, questionable, probable, playing.
And I look at it this way too. With the three names that I mentioned, Taylor, Blackmon, and Hines, I thought Hines would be at the bottom of the list of.
Well, remember this.
Being the least questionable, I guess.
Well, here's what you got to remember, and I'm glad you said that because I heard you when I was driving in. We got to remember they played on Thursday,
right?
Not Sunday. It's not like the short week that Tua had. This is a not even just a regular week. It's a longer week, so more time to go through it. But yeah, as somebody that suffered a head injury, I take that really seriously when you see like the way he was, out of sorts there and wobbly-legged. That's how I was when I got hit. I was wobbly-legged, and the guy had to tell me to take a knee. But I was like him. I was trying to walk. Like, no, I'm good. So, yeah, that's scary stuff. And I know that the staff is going to err on the side of caution because I know Naheem's going to want to go no matter what. You're going to have to tell him what's best for him. So, hopefully, that's an indication that all the protocols have been, followed accurately, and if he's good to go, they need him out there for sure.
Officially ruled as out for Sunday, Shaquille Leonard with the concussion and the broken nose. He just had that surgically worked on, I believe, this week. And Kwity Paye also ruled out for Sunday in that matchup with the Jaguars. More of Hagan, more of me, JMV, and Broad Ripple, Average Joes. Love to see you here. A Bud Light Blue Friday with 4 Jaguars Colts tickets to give away. 2-2, bottom of 9 with an out. Yankees, of course, at the plate. And that game 2 of the ALDS in New York with Cleveland tied.
That guy's trying to end it with one swing.
He was trying to end that bad boy right there.
He's hit a lot of those.
Quick break, and we'll come back. I think Rob Sabatini, who is running the place, is going to join us, too. Don Fisher after 5, and John Price as well. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Make your relationships as romantic as can be.
Saturday is Sweetest Day, a special day for couples in love. A gift from Lover's Lane will help you say, I love you. Even better, I want you. Select the perfect gift from sensuous lingerie to playful bedroom essentials. Lover's Lane stores and loverslane.com has everything you will need to make Sweetest Day sweet.
Halloween is almost here. Accessorize your look at Lover's Lane. Be one of a kind in our unique DIY costume accessories.
Hey, it's John here for Love Heating and Air Conditioning. That's John and Chris Love at 317-353-2141. You need it? Got to get a checkup on that thing to make sure you are rest of the fall and then winter ready. Telling you, how many of you have switched over from the blue to the red as far as heating is concerned with those cold overnights? In fact, this morning around 35 degrees or lower. Going to make sure your system is good to go for those long and cold months ahead. Make sure John and Chris is that call that you make. 317-353-2141. That's Love Heating and Air online. Love-HVAC.com today.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay Stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, Froster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
Hey, it's LD Smith Plumbing, the best in plumbing for you at 317-927-7186. LDSmithPlumbing.com. Hey, get in touch with my friend Lance if you have any plumbing needs whatsoever and ask about their 83 or free deal involving the drains in your home. And always remember, the best in plumbing and especially plumbing emergencies. That's LD Smith Plumbing. 317-927-7186 online, LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
October 14th is National Dessert Day, and your ultimate meal with something sweet like their crispy turnover, cinnamon toast crunch cheesecake, or simply a delicious Twin Peaks sundae. At the Lodge, there's always room for dessert.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, it's JMV for CarX Tire and Auto, serving the Indianapolis market for over 40 years. 14 Central Indiana, Joe Childers run locations of CarX. I'm talking absolutely everything for your car, truck, or van. Full service auto repair specialists. We're talking brakes, tires, engine alignments, exhaust, oil changes, all that and more. And how about this for a JMV special? $109.99 lifetime brake pads per axle and save $200 on a set of 4 select Continental tires. Those are the JMV specials. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to serve you. Car, truck, or van, they have exactly what you're looking for. Full service auto repair all in one place. Tell Joe Childers I sent you. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There is one near you. Find out where it is online today. It's CarX.com.
For over 25 years, Quality Supply and Tool has taken a customer-first approach to supplying the construction industry with all their industrial needs. Big corporations, on the other hand, think differently. Here's Ryan Ling to explain.
In my career, I've worked for the larger corporations. I've been on the other side. But the owner of Quality Supply and Tool gives us the freedom to take care of the customer no matter what. We stock only industrial-grade tools, and our full service and warranty department truly sets us apart.
With locations in Jeffersonville, Bloomington, and South Harding Street in Indy, Quality Supply and Tool thinks outside the box. Store.
Hey, BullseyeEventGroup.com, Colts VIP tailgate. You're going to be a part of it tomorrow morning. The doors open at 10 a.m. with all you can eat, all you can drink. With that fun you're going to have with the remixing going on from DJ Skids from the JMV Takeover. You're going to have that. Helicon's in there as well. It's just going to be a blast. It makes your game day experience the best it can be. Just get your passes right now and be there 10 a.m. Sunday morning with BullseyeEventGroup.com. Make sure you're also going to Vegas with us, too. That's coming up in November. Get your passes, get your tickets, and be a part of that entire Vegas experience coming up in November with BullseyeEventGroup.com.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and reduce friction and wear. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $33.99. Try Syntec today, exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The big fall sale is on till October 16th at Sundown Gardens. 20 to 50% off all nursery items and perennials in stock. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
Hey, it's Jimmy Cook with the Dan Dockett Show. Join Dan today as he recaps Colts Jaguars with Greg Rakestraw, and Sean Salisbury shares his thoughts on Week 6 in the NFL. Join Dan, noon to 3 today.
The Ride with JMV.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. and totally redeem yourself.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I'm in Broad Ripple. I want to thank you guys for joining us here. Get a nice group inside Average Joe's and Broad Ripple Bud Light Blue Friday. Hagen, JMV, Rob Sabatini. Been keeping it real around here since 1994. Locally owned and locally operated. Sabatini in the house. What's up, brother?
Nothing much. How are you, John?
You going to let me go next door and do a little early bird MCL DJ work over there?
Yeah, we'll go over play around a little bit when you get
Hell
off work.
to the yeah. Here we go. Call me Terminator X over there, Hagen. That's going to be me right there.
Don't encourage him.
Hey,
well, you're the number one guy in town now. So
it's incredible, isn't it? The rise. I know you listen on Saturday night too. I know you do a lot of work next door at the Rock, but
oh my goodness,
yeah. Cleveland tried to throw this. No, Cleveland's actually up bad right now. Wow, Yankees throwing it around a little bit. Hey, Rob, tell us what you got going on, not just tonight, but the weekend as well.
Well, we'll be open at 10 o'clock tonight, tomorrow over at the Rock Lobster. You know, we start next week with our Captain Morgan's Haunted Saloon. So that's a big haunted house deal that we've done for 14 years, and that's coming up the 21st, 22nd, 28th, and 29th. Just want to tell everybody, there's this construction going on up here, but it's not affecting us at this point in time. We're wide open out in front. They're doing the block up the street from us to the east of us. So, we still have full access to Ubers and Lyfts and people being dropped off and whatever. So we're not going to be affected by any of that until April.
Hey, rumor has it that you had to show Once Upon a Time, our executive producer, Todd Meyer, the ropes. Did it take you a long time to break the Colts back in the day?
I didn't do anything with Todd, man. Todd was
that sounds familiar.
Todd worked for us as a bartender for a number of years, and he's been a good friend for a long time. And
Great guy.
And we both share that black and gold Purdue blood. So
yeah,
we've both been hurt beyond belief by their sports programs over the years, and when they talk about all the pain you can go through, nobody's gone through it more than Todd and I have.
Well, he's a great dude, man. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought maybe we'd get a special cameo appearance here, but to this point we haven't seen him.
He's an old man. He ain't going to come out here.
Oh, well, there's another old man sitting right across from you right here. Pam Brown's in the house. Hello, Pam Brown. It's good to see you. All right, big weekend for you, though. This weekend as well, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll be going. It's fall break at a couple of the universities, so there'll be people moving around. But it's good up here. A lot of the issues over the summer have calmed down a lot with the cooler weather. So we invite everybody to come up and see us. We're always welcome and happy to have everybody up here.
So Rob Sabatini of Average Joe's in Broad Ripple on a Bud Light Blue Friday, my brother. I appreciate it. We'll see you next door.
We'll be listening to you on the takeover, man.
Tomorrow night, the JMV
2
takeover.
hours of the week.
Is that a Sterling Marlin car upside down right there?
That is a Sterling Marlin car upside down.
That's
we
awesome.
Can't talk about what's on it, but
there's also an upside down. What's his name? Jacques Villeneuve car.
Oh, I gotta go check that out.
From 2002.
I love stuff like that. The checks on the wall; those are really cool too.
Yeah, those are back from when we just used to do the front row party.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, Rob, appreciate you, man.
Okay,
Rob Sabatini, Average Joe's in Broad Ripple. Don Fisher, the other side. John Price as well. Hagen's going to stay 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
When winter's at its worst, snowplow professionals need the best. That's why your local Boss dealer has the ultimate lineup of snow and ice solutions you need. Front to back, Boss leads with advanced truck plows and spreaders, compact equipment, heavy equipment, and time-saving tools to clear any surface area. Keep them open with a Boss snowplow, built to back you up.
Get them before they're sold out at Midstate Truck Equipment, Allisonville Road at 106th Street, 849-4903 or mid-statetruck.com.
Football is back, and so is your chance to win with BetRivers Sportsbook app. Featuring our new multi-game same-game parlay. Combine the action of multiple same-game parlays in one bet for more action and bigger payouts. Bet the spread, bet the over, bet player props, and more. Throw in daily odds boost plus award-winning customer service, and it's a touchdown. Download it today.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Indiana only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
It's another Georgia Street Tailgate presented by Peterman Brothers this Sunday starting at 10:30 a.m. prior to the Colts versus Jaguars matchup. Enjoy food, music, and get your game face on prior to this important AFC South matchup. We'll see you at the Georgia Street Tailgate.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The days of multiple offers are behind us, and it's officially a buyer's market. And although interest rates are a little higher than they were this time last year, the lower sale price should more than make up for it. And when rates do come back down, we can always do a simple refinance to lower your monthly payment. Marry the house, date the rate. TheHomeLoanExpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's John here for Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. If you're having trouble staying awake for those late games every night, you're not getting great bed rest, and maybe it's because you struggle with snoring. If you or somebody you know has a snoring issue and you're getting robbed of bed rest, let's do something about it with Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. I'm telling you what, they did that with me. I struggled, and I am good now with that easy, that affordable, that custom-fit mouthpiece. You wear it at night, and that eliminates your snoring. It did for me. It can do the same for you. So if you struggle with snoring every night, let's do something about it. Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. Log on, get that private consultation today. StopYourSnoreNow.com. Again, StopYourSnoreNow.com.
Take the next step in your construction career by becoming a union carpenter.
Some of the best pay in the industry.
Amazing health and retirement benefits.
Ongoing cutting-edge training.
Creating my own career path so I can do what I love.
High safety standards.
Great employment opportunities. Why will you join the Carpenters Union? Join the 75,000 men and women in Indiana who build our communities. For more information, visit the Construction Industry Partnership at indianacip.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. A bottle of Gum Out Fuel Injector Cleaner can clean your entire system and help your engine get more MPGs. Right now, you can get 2 bottles for only $7. A great deal to help you go a good deal farther. Find Gum Out Fuel Injector Cleaner and everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm just trying to make sure you're good to go when it's turning cold, which it did last night. 317-353-2141. Love Heating and Air right now. Make sure your system gets that once over from John and Chris Love. The absolute best to do it. I just want you to remain comfortable when you have to switch from the blue to the red, as many of you, I bet, did last night or earlier this morning. Make sure your system's running efficiently as we make the change, not just from mid-fall right now, but ultimately coming up a couple of months from now, going to the wintertime. And do it right now. It's a good time to do it at 317-353-2141. That's love-hvac.com today.
Ball State football is back in Muncie Saturday, October 15th against UConn. Secure tickets at ballstatesports.com or charge by phone 888-BSU-TICKET. Chirp, chirp.
It's the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. Michigan hosts Penn State on American Standards College Football Saturday. The coverage begins at 11:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Just an average guy with exceptional hair.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're in Broad Ripple today at Average Joe's in Broad Ripple, Bud Light Blue Friday. We're just a smidge away from starting to give away tickets. We got 4 pair of Jaguars Colts tickets for the Sunday matchup to give away courtesy of Bud Light on a Blue Friday. Thank you to my friends at Zinc. Mike Wells a little bit earlier, Bob Lovell a little bit earlier. We mentioned we have a busy night of high school football. Man, Cathedral and Center Grove down in CG is going to be large, to say the least, a part of a terrific high school football schedule before its one-and-done season coming up next week. Remember, we got to cut off at 5:30. We go to Colts Happy Hour, then an hour of that, and Pacers Rockets from Gainbridge Fieldhouse later on tonight. That's coming at you later on this evening as well. Hagan, JMV, and Broad Ripple at Average Joe's, and on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Voice of the Hoosiers with another big one coming up tomorrow against Maryland in the crosshairs. Our friend Don Fisher joins us. Hello, Don. How are you?
Good, John. How you doing?
You going out to a little football action tonight again?
No, tonight I'm actually almost to Bloomington as we speak because tonight is a special event.
Oh, I bet it is. When Don Fisher has a Friday night alone in Bloomington, it's a special event. No question about that. I know what you're doing tonight over there. Yes.
You do?
No, I don't. But I just figure. I know what I would do in Bloomington on a night alone. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe you have a similar train of thought. Yeah.
I'm not alone. I'll be with my wife and family as we celebrate a little HOF tonight.
Hall of Fame, John.
That's it. That's awesome. What I mean, I talked this up before, and you're cool, and you really wanted me to. You told me not to talk about it anymore.
That's right.
That's a pretty damn big deal. It was weird because if my memory serves, I thought you were already in it. And to be honest with you, I wondered, how are you not already in that bad boy?
Don's been there so long, this is the third time they're putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know it. Man.
It is tonight. The banquet is tonight, so this will be the last we have to talk about it, and we don't have to talk about it anymore in this show either.
No, it's awesome, though, seriously. And this comes from somebody that, since birth, basically. Since birth has listened to you and still does, because you know how I feel, about radio, other aspects out there. I have a firm and deeply rooted love for it, and we could not be happier for you, buddy, honestly. I mean, it is a long time coming, and that's pretty awesome. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, John. Thank you much. Thank you guys both. I really appreciate your thoughts.
All right, so when you celebrate, right, and they peel you off the floor coming up later on tonight, what do you think about this matchup with Maryland for the Hoosiers tomorrow, that game you're going to be calling? What piques your interest at the beginning? The change in the offensive line coach? Is that where we start?
There is no question. That's exactly where we start, John, because it was obviously last week, the second half was just a disaster in regard to the offensive line. They played pretty well in the first half, but it was primarily because the very quick and tempo passing game that Indiana was employing kind of wore Michigan out in the first half a little bit, and Indiana was able, and they weren't ready for it. I think
Agreed.
They thought that they could sleepwalk through that, and Indiana was able to take advantage of it, and score was tied 10-10 at halftime. The defense did a nice job, so it was really a good performance by Indiana, but the second half was a totally different story from an offensive standpoint, because from that point on, whatever adjustments Michigan made, they were the right ones, because Indiana couldn't do a thing with their offense in the second half. And the offensive line literally was a sieve. I mean, it looked like a sieve the entire second half. And without doubt, Tom Allen had to make a move. I feel bad for Darren Hiller. I mean, he's a good man. Everybody knows that Tom and he are close, and their families are close, and I understand the negativity of it all, but at the same time, you can see that there's a problem, and you've got to somehow try to fix it, whether it's changing of the guard in the offensive line coaching position or whatever, and I don't know that anything else could be done at this point. You've got to do something to change the voice of the coach. And maybe the change to Rod Carey will be a big factor, and maybe it won't be any factor at all, because there's no springtime game or no summer to work on things. You're basically trying to change things in the middle of a season, which is really, really hard to do. So I feel first of all, I feel for the new coach, because obviously that's going to be a difficult challenge. Rod Carey's a tremendous coach. I really like him. I've known him since he was a 3-year starter at center for IU. And this guy is just a special man on top of that. And I don't think he wanted this job at all. I think he took the quality control job so that he could have time to be with his family and a son that's playing some football up at Guerin. And that he took this only because his wife and his family signed off on it. So this is probably just a one-year thing, or at least until the season's over, and then we'll see what happens. But I do know this. I talked to a player on the team last night. He's a scout player. He's not a starter or anything like that. But this young man, I said, could you see a difference this week in the way the offensive line is being coached and how they're going about things? And he said, there is no question I've seen a difference. So that tells me something.
And Fish, we're at that part of the season now. 3 losses in a row. You still got some of the heavy hitters in college football down the road, and you start, I know players and coaches take it one game at a time, but we in the media, we like to look big picture, and you think about how important it is to get to that 6 wins and get back to a bowl game after the disappointment last season. And these next 2 weeks are games, you want to really try to get, because there are going to be some tough ones down the road after that.
Well, there's no question, Chris. I think the big thing for this game tomorrow is, can Indiana make some things happen offensively and have the discipline defensively that it's going to take? Because Talia Tungavaloa is just having a tremendous year. He's 3rd in the country in pass efficiency as far as percentage of completions is concerned. He's in the top 10 or 15 in almost every passing category in the country right now, and he is playing terrific. And he was really good last year too. So if Indiana's defense can step up and start playing a little bit better, especially in that defensive backfield, they have had some problems this year at times. That's going to be crucially important. But I do think Indiana's capable of winning this ball game. I know Maryland's really good, and they've really improved in a lot of areas. But I still think this is a winnable football game if Indiana plays to their capabilities and finally gets something done in the offensive line that allows the quarterback to do his job.
So Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, IU and Maryland coming up in Bloomington tomorrow. You mentioned this, and you're absolutely right. It looked like Michigan wasn't really ready for that tempo offense we saw from IU in the first half. Will we see more of that with the way the direction is going to go with Rod Carey now and this offensive line in mind? How do you think they're going to handle this offensively against Maryland tomorrow?
It's hard for me to know that, John. I think Rod probably would have some influence with Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator, on what he thinks this Indiana football team can do. And so we'll see if there are going to be changes made in how they scheme it and how they go about, playing that tempo offense. If they can still do it, or if they do it as much, or maybe slow it down a little bit to more than anything, you just can't have 1, 2, 3 and out, 1, 2, 3 and out, and the defense stays on the football field for a half of football, which is basically what happened in the second half of this ball game this past week. So I do think that there'll be some changes made. I just don't know what they're going to be. But I have the utmost confidence, if anything can be done with this offensive line, that Rod Carey is the man to do it.
And Fish, not that you work at the ticket office, so I'll do it myself here. A 3:30 start, great weather. It's football-type weather. I don't see any reason that a IU fan shouldn't be in there tomorrow and be loud and proud and like you said, go out there and beat a good team, but a game you feel like the Hoosiers have a chance.
Well, I do think they've got a chance. I think a lot of the fans know that they do as well, and they know how important this game is to the rest of the season. And obviously, if Indiana could win it, then they're just 2 away from getting a bowl. And that, of course, gives you motivation, gives the players more confidence. But they've got to win a football game here in the next 2 weeks for sure. And hopefully it's 2, because that would make things even easier for the team as far as a possible bowl bid is concerned.
Some of these injury situations that we saw, certainly as of last week, starting with Cam Jones, for example, how's that look, especially on the defensive side of the football, going into tomorrow, Don?
Well, it doesn't look good, John. I mean, Cam Jones is going to be out for I don't know how long. They have indicated that it's going to be some time. So that might mean 2 or 3 or maybe 4, maybe even 5 more weeks. I mean, he may not see, it might be the last couple of ball games of the year that we see him. It's obviously a significant foot injury of some kind. So my thought here is Cam's not going to be available. I do like what I saw from Bradley Jennings last week. Aaron Casey has been a really solid performer this year at the linebacker post. Jared Casey, another recruit or transfer portal guy from Kentucky who has been out the last couple of weeks, is now available again. So I'm excited about him being back. And I do think the linebacking core has done a pretty good job despite Cam's injury situation and not being available. I think the big key tomorrow, or hopefully one of the keys tomorrow, is getting back a couple of these wide receivers. And I think DJ Matthews is a guy that might be back tomorrow. Likewise, Javon Swinton. So those two guys could be back. Cam Campers had another week to get back to 100%. Even though he played some last week, but he was not as effective as he's been in the past. So I think that's going to help this football team if, in fact, Matthews is ready to go, and Swinton as well.
Hey, Don, in closing here, do you have a true gauge because of the offensive line and what he has had to endure on the type of season that Connor Bazelak has had to this point?
I do know this. He is one tough dude. And I say that because he has taken every hit, every sack, gotten back up, and gone out there and just done his thing again. And, I'm sure that in some respects he's been really sore after the last few football games. I know he was after the Nebraska game. I know he was after the Michigan game, certainly. It's going to be interesting to see how he holds up, but I think he's a big, strong kid. He's a tough guy. There's no question about that. And his calmness and his ability to not say negative things under these circumstances is pretty impressive, in my opinion.
As you mentioned, it would be tough. Very tough not being pissy under these circumstances. I completely agree with that. And I guess to a certain degree, we're kind of getting that with the NFL team up here as well. It'd be tough, I think, at sometimes not to be pissy under those circumstances. So, no doubt.
I think you've termed it correctly, sir.
Yes. Hey, congratulations on going into the Hall of Fame. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Have a great night with the fam down in Bloomington, and we'll catch you 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, pregame show, right? 2:30?
Yep, 2:30 pregame, 3:30 kick time. It's going to be a fun day, I think, and it's going to be a special day if Indiana can win the football game because it's hugely important.
All right. I want you back in the hotel room by 4 a.m., okay, Don? Make sure.
I do. I will have time in the morning to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do. I know exactly what you mean. Don't fall into that trap. Okay. Buddy, I appreciate you. We're happy for you.
Congrats, Don.
Thanks, Don. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, going into the Hall of Fame, and incredibly deserving of that honor.
You know what? They got to win one for the Fisher.
You do got to win.
Get out there and win one for the Fisher.
Hagen, JMV, Average Joe's, Broad Ripple, Bud Light Blue Friday, and joining us now, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. SportsInformationTraders.com. Our weekly visit with John Price. John, welcome in on this Friday. How are you, sir?
Excited because of what I'm looking at right now on the paper in front of me. We've been on here for a little while now, and I don't think we've discussed this because this has not happened since 2020. I am looking at what I would call a Vegas mistake, and here's the definition of that. On Sundays, that's when the odds makers in Las Vegas put their lines together and send them out for the next week's college football. We do ours on Mondays. I like to let a day pass to kind of get an idea of who's healthy and how teams respond. When we compare and contrast the lines, they're generally similar. And the last time this happened was 2020 with Wake Forest, which you can see on our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. There is a team that is an underdog that should 100% be favored. And when we see this, we take advantage of it by betting on that team on the money line, which is about 2-1 odds, and with the points. Together, it's going to be the biggest college football wager of the season for us. I call it the Vegas mistake because it is. The wrong team is favored. Go to our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see it in red letters, the Vegas mistake. You can purchase it right there. on the website. I'm looking at the game right now. So when you buy it, you're going to get a call from one of our analysts. You're going to be on the game 5 minutes after you purchase it. We're ready to go before it starts tomorrow. I do expect some line movement between now and tomorrow. Not the radical shift that happened last time. Last time this happened, Wake Forest was a 3-point underdog during the week. We gave it to our clients, and they were a 3-point favorite by kickoff, and they won by 17. So this is the biggest game to date. It's yours. You can purchase it now at sportsinformationtraders.com.
You don't have to answer me yes or no, but I haven't looked at the website. I'm guessing. I think I know what game this is. I'm not going to say it, but I think it's a 7:30 Eastern kickoff. Am I right? You don't have to tell me.
No, not necessarily. Well, I'll tell you the one that everybody's like looking sideways at the USC-Utah game, because Utah is a 2-loss team and USC's knocking on the door, and that doesn't really look right either. However, there's reasons for that. I know why Vegas did that. To me, there is a team that should not be an underdog. They should not. They should be favored in this game. And, when you do that, you got to take advantage of it. And so right now, all of our clients are already on that game. It's a money line play, and it's a play with the points. It's 2 bets in one game. The combination, it's the biggest risk, the biggest wager of our college football season. And if you go to our website, you can go check it out, JMV, when you go to your next commercial break. Go to our website, scroll down, and check it out. The last time it happened, it was a Wake Forest game with Virginia. And we knew that Virginia's quarterback wasn't going to be playing. And the whole line flipped, and we were able to cash in on the money line and with those 3 points, which eventually disappeared, and they became a favorite. It doesn't happen often. Nobody's heard me on this station talking about that. So go to our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. You can purchase the Vegas mistake right there. I made it affordable because I simply want people to get on it and win, period. Let's win together twice in the same game. Go to sportsinformationtraders.com.
That's John Price right there, sportsinformationtraders.com. Jaguars and Colts, look, just a little bit on it coming up on Sunday, John. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Colts are -2 right now. It sort of opened up at 2.5, so slight edge in public money on the Jags. Colts are coming off that really low-scoring game, but it was a victory. And you know what? When you get away from it and you just look back at it, a win like that counts the same as a 40-10 win. So nobody cares. They need to cut down on mistakes, in particular Matt Ryan. The Colts are 2-3 against the spread. So if you've bet on them this year, you're losing money at this stage. But guess what? Same with the Jaguars. They're coming off a loss. They've made many mistakes. Lawrence had 2 picks last week. They're also 2-3 against the spread. Here's something that probably doesn't shock Colts fans. The under is 5-0 in Colts plays. And there hasn't been a lot of scoring in the game, so Colts fans are following it. They're smart. They get it. The under is 5-0. And I believe it's going to become 6-0 this week. The total is 42. I think these 2 defenses are still ahead of the 2 offenses. Last time they played, I don't believe the Colts scored a point. I think it was 24-0. So I think this is going to be a lower-scoring game. Take the under 42 points in the Colts-Jaguars game. It's not a big play for us. The biggest play that we have is going to occur tomorrow, a day before the Colts and Jaguars play. If you're listening to me in Indianapolis and you're saying, I need to see a play. I've heard this guy. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Show me a play that you can stake the reputation of your company on. This is the one. Go to our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. Block out all the other companies and all the other distractions. Zero in on this one Vegas mistake, and you can cash in with the rest of us. Go to sportsinformationtraders.com.
That's sportsinformationtraders.com right there. Check it out. That is our friend every Friday, John Price. John, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Have a great weekend.
It's John Price right there, sportsinformationtraders.com. Oh, man, whose was that right there? Somebody just got their car tagged right in front of me right here. Bummer.
Hey, the Falcons 5-0 against the spread.
Yeah, I saw that.
Little tidbit. I think I know a game. Is he still listening to us? Can he still hear
Kyle,
us?
is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. I think he's talking about the Kentucky-Mississippi State game.
Well, you brought it up.
He wouldn't answer. I said, is it 7:30? He's like,
I think he kind of thought it was a crank question, and then you asked it, and he thought that was me, so I'm the one.
Now it's you're on the hook for that.
Yeah, I'm on the hook for the bad
How unprofessional. I think he's talking about Mississippi State because that line went from 8 to 4. Mississippi State favored on the road against Kentucky. I think he's saying Kentucky should be favored, so I might just go to his website and see because he stakes his reputation on it, so I'm going to go check it out.
He was fairly emphatic.
He was adamant, like put your 401k on it.
Vegas completely screwed up.
What's funny is that's always Vegas never screws up because they always win. No matter, they got money on both sides. They're going to be fine. So I'm going to have to go, what's the website? I'm going to go check it out.
Sportsinformationtraders.com.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my 401k on. If not, I'm going to go find this price guy. The price better be right.
Hey, by the way, Yankees lose Game 2, best of 5, ALDS.
Final in 10 innings, 4-2 Guardians. Right now, the Braves and Phillies are playing top 3. Let's go bottom 3.
The
scoreless.
Midge alert, by the way, for Cleveland coming up tomorrow, right? Remember that? Remember the bugs that were flying all over Java Chamberlain? When was that? Back in 07?
It was a while ago.
06, something like that. They were flying over him. I don't know how you can predict. How can you predict that the midges or the bugs?
That's what those weather nerds do. Those meteorologists.
I think they call them midges in Cleveland. We call them in Southern Indiana dog blank gnats. Are those the same?
I think they're
those
similar.
Are the same thing, right?
I think they're similar.
What do you got? It's a dog, gnat. So, yeah. Same thing, kind of?
Yeah, I don't want to get fired, John.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
I know you got the Colts happy hour coming up, so I'm going to give you my pick.
Okay.
I do love the under. I gave the under last Thursday.
Yeah.
That game was so far under, it could have gone to overtime, and both teams scored field goals and the touchdown, and it still was going under. That's how under it was.
Right.
I like the under. I think the Colts find a way to win something like 19-17, 17-16, something.
I said 2017.
Something putrid, but take the win.
See, I was kind of looking for more of an oddballish number to go with. Like you mentioned, 19-17's oddballish, but
you start throwing field goals in there instead of touchdowns.
Right, you do.
Teams that kick field goals and not touchdowns, that's how you get to those 16s and 19s. And I think that's what we'll see from the Colts, and they'll have just enough. But let me tell you what, if they lose this game, I'm done picking the Colts. I won't pick them the rest of the season, even if they're playing Cathedral High School. I'm not going to pick the Colts to win.
Center Grove, by the way, is playing Cathedral High School later on tonight.
That'll be a good one.
Center Grove, yes, it will be a good one. Jonathan Taylor, questionable today on the injury report going into the weekend. Do you expect him to play?
I expect him to play. And it all starts that. You get the running game going, you can get some things going, the play action that Matt Ryan likes to do. But it starts with the line that gets the running game going, that gets the passing game going. So as we talked about ad nauseum earlier, the line's got to figure itself out.
The last time that these two teams played was in Jacksonville in week 2, 24-0, Jaguars over the Colts. Colts were without both Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce. Because you have them both back, is there any significance in that?
Oh, definitely. We've seen Pierce. I mean, this guy is a playmaker. He led the Colts in receiving last week. He's had 3 straight games since coming back from he had a rough start. He dropped a potential touchdown pass. He took the concussion, missed a game, and he's come back and been productive since then. Confidence grows with him, and confidence from the quarterback grows with going to him in big situations. And then we've seen what Pittman can do. So, yeah, that's going to open up some more things for the offense. I think the Colts will not get shut out. I think they'll score enough to win, and then I think that sets you on the path to maybe getting back in control of this AFC South.
All right, we got more to come for you. Colts Happy Hour is on the other side. Oh, you're a Jaguars guy, are you?
He's from the Duval.
What the hell is that? Is that the county?
County.
What the hell are you yelling about the county for down there? Just do some Skinner. I'll play some Skinner for you. I'm going to start giving away tickets. I got 4 pair to give away, courtesy of Bud Light here at Average Joe's in Broad Ripple. We'll do that as we get into Colts Happy Hour. Haig is going to hang. My man Cam's going to be here. Olivia's here, and Kyle back in the studio. We'll take a break and come back for Colts Happy Hour. Get you updated on some of these baseball games ongoing, including Atlanta and Philly. Game 3 of that NLDS Best of 5 coming up on the other side with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hang on.